I got a lot to do.
I don't think that's a good idea, sir.
Well, for once, Commander Kroll and I are in total agreement, sir. By the way, I do have 50 gallons of bouillabaisse that I need to prepare by tomorrow.
My birthday.
Yes, sir. I could do the cheeseburger routine.
No, it's not for me. It's the crew. They really love that stuff. So we'll...
Round one, fight! Wednesday, October 28th. Yes, it's me coming to you live from Mazatlan, Mexico. No, not really. I'm in sunny San Diego. Guys, the first year of Double Impact, I guess it's complete. We started this gangster shit last December. Sean Tangetti and I, and we made a friend along the way. All of you guys, first of all, but our good friend Jericho Green is here too. Guys, welcome. It's Red Heat tonight, not True Lies. None of us could find True Lies to rent on YouTube, rent on Amazon. We couldn't find it, so we did Red Heat instead.
Dude, I was pissed. I was pissed. I was, casually going, let me go on Amazon, find the movie, rent it or whatever if it's not available through one of the other subscriptions I have. And I was like, what? I couldn't believe I looked through the Xfinity app, Tubi. Somebody sent me a link to all this crazy shit that I'm probably on a watch list for, and I could not find it. And why? Why can't we find it? It's not this crazy, obscure underground film. It was in the movie theater. 1994. What the hell? I was very upset.
I don't know. There's got to be some sort of controversy.
I was looking forward to saying Dana, but
I don't know, man. There's some good stuff in this too, man.
True, very true, Sean. Very true.
Yes.
There's some classic nuggets in True Lies, but I guess we'll never.
Look at Tammy just mocking us. She saw it on Sci-Fi Network the other day.
Sci-Fi.
Tammy.
What's up, Tammy?
Red Heat. Does that mean they're sweating profusely? Oh, there's sweat. There's baby oil. Like you thought Predator had baby oil and flexing muscles. You ain't seen nothing yet. In communist Russia, muscles flex you. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So, yeah.
There was a baby oil shortage,
right?
Because of this movie, Johnson & Johnson. They were scrambling, trying to get their hands on enough baby oil to fill these orders.
Well, we'll get to it, but remember in Predator, Bill Dukes had that falling out with you, Arnie, because he lost all the baby oil on set. But when you guys were filming Red Heat, you needed that extra baby oil, and he came through because he remembered he had to make it up to you. And that was such a heartwarming moment. So we'll get into how that went, but I know it really touched you. You told me that in the pre-interview. So it's
yeah.
Just saying you make me laugh. Oh my goodness. So we're ready to rock. Did you guys have a great Christmas? I had one of the best Christmases I've ever had. It was just amazing.
Because you got that new granddaughter of yours whose head of hair I'm already having envy issues with.
Yeah.
That hair is just...
I think she has heterochromia. She has a green eye, I think it'll turn green because my wife is green and my dad is green hazel. But hers is light gray blue and the other one is like brown. So I think she's gonna have 2 colored eyes. It's amazing. I don't know because the eyes change color after 3-4 months, so we'll see.
Yeah,
but I think it would be beautiful if she did. How unique,
But I was jealous. I am jealous of her flowing raven locks. But no tiny baby in our house. But I do have 2 older crumb snatchers, and they had a great Christmas. Santa Claus came through. He even left footprints from the fireplace to the tree.
Oh, you know how you got to go.
Oh yeah,
You know how it's got to go.
I go all out, man. But yeah, it was wonderful. It was a great holiday.
Yep.
I hope you guys had a great Christmas as well.
Real quick, Michael Coulter, have you guys seen Red Scorpion with Dolph Lundgren? That's a good movie. No, I haven't, but I love Dolph Lundgren. As I have mentioned a few times on this channel, I met him at the Aquaman movie premiere. Total gentleman, really friendly to me. I love his movies because I became like a super fan of his after I met him. Any of you guys reach out to me on Twitter, Instagram, and recommend movies you want us to do here. I'm not necessarily going to do them, but I love recommendations of what you guys want to see. We have ideas coming up. We did Arnold's Vamba. We just did like 7 Arnold movies, but I think we want to do another block of Charles Bronson or Chuck Norris or Van Damme, just another block of movies like that. I think would be a fun way to do it. So recommendations, always welcome, please.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing some Stallone movies. Because he's Stallone.
I'm not a meathead like they say. You know what I'm saying?
He
I
has
forged a little bit.
He has some bangers. He actually, that issue with his lip, when he was being delivered, the doctor used forceps and severed a nerve in his lip. So that's what
I heard that. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to doing some Stallone movies. I mean, you talk about some heat.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, we did Nighthawks, Shant and I. That's a great movie. No one knows about it. I didn't know it existed.
Shout out to his beard in that movie. Just his beard, not the rest of him.
That was serious.
His beard alone. That was the first time I've seen a bearded Stallone, and it was wonderful.
Yeah, and I also, John in the chat was mentioning this. It's true. Were he still with us, but it is the 100th anniversary of Stan Lee's birth today.
Damn.
And what a legend. Left some amazing art and creativity behind. So hail to you, Stan. Pour one out for Stan.
You know what? In history, we have people, and I don't know if this even happens anymore, but throughout history, there have been people who just come through with like a bunch of inventions or a bunch of characters that they created. How many characters did Stan Lee create?
Can't imagine.
I mean, and just the ones that everybody knows, Spider-Man and all that shit. Just the super iconic ones. He came up with a shitload of them. Right. And like and again, like we were talking last week about the animation and stuff, the Mel Blancs of the world. The guys that were just super talented and gave us a whole bunch of shit. From one human being. That was crazy. And Stan Lee is definitely one of them.
I mean, for 2 guys like Stan Lee and then Jack Kirby, who illustrated so much of his work, to meet and collab like that, insane that those 2. It's just the ultimate team up there. They created the Marvel Universe, them, along with Ditko and some other guys, but insane creative ability. Redacted Computer, Dark Angel. I've seen that and I liked it. It looked like a piece of crap at the video store. And then I caught it and I actually liked it. But yeah, if you guys ever want to message out to me on Twitter or anywhere, Facebook, Instagram, I just use my name, Gabe L. Tabe. It's easy to find me. Recommendations always welcome. Absolutely.
Now I'm willing to work through my Dolph Lundgren PTSD. These movies you're mentioning, I'm willing to see them, but I had the misfortune of watching Masters of the Universe first. That was my first foray into Dolph Lundgren being the star. You got your Rocky, of course, Rocky 4. You got your Universal Soldier, but that was a Van Damme movie.
Right.
Dolph Lundgren was the what the hell is the word I'm looking for? Co-star. He's the co-star of the movie.
Right.
But led by, he's the man, star of the movie, Dolph Lundgren. My first time was Masters of the Universe. Shout out to Courtney Cox. She was in that as well. I know she's watching. But that scared me. That scared me away from Dolph Lundgren-led movies. But with your guys' help,
we'll bring it back into the
I'm willing to face my fear.
That's not totally true, though, Jericho. You were a Showdown in Little Tokyo fan.
But was that a Brandon Lee movie?
It's tough to say.
Who was more famous at the time? I wonder who was more famous at the time.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll say that was because they do introduce Dolph Lundgren first.
Right. I think
They
Dolph was
introduced him
more
first.
famous. I think
Yep.
Brandon Lee would have lapped him in famousness. Just he
For
was
sure.
bad at all.
But I did see Masters of the Universe before that even.
That's no
'Cause
one's fault but your parents. They
True.
took you to that. You got to work that out with them.
Video store. That was a video store rental right
Hail
there.
Joe Mello.
Real quick, Joe Mello for $10. Thank you, friends. So generous. Good evening, brothers. I hope you had a nice Christmas with your families. I did. One of the best Christmases I've ever had. I thought you guys were doing True Lies tonight. Keep up the great work. Love you guys. Well, you keep up your great work. We love you too, baby. But True Lies, that was a true lie when I said we were doing True Lies.
That's right.
No, we couldn't find it.
Got you.
Jericho texted me yesterday. He's like, I can't find it, like on Amazon and YouTube. So I went and looked and all that myself, and I just couldn't find it anywhere. So I remember Jericho had mentioned Red Heat, so we said we'll do Red Heat instead. So yeah, it's out there somewhere. True Lies.
Let me know. You guys
That'll
find
be
it.
for Arnold November too. Whenever we come back to more Arnold movies. So yeah.
Yeah, we might have to
Yeah, I
actually
mean-
get our hands on a hard copy, like a DVD.
Right.
Yeah,
That's-
you know, I
that's how
think
I
the thing
thought
for me
so.
was I watched 3 movies titled Red Heat before I got to the actual Red Heat. And I gotta tell you,
You are.
it was very obvious
You're red
from the
heated
start.
out.
These were not the movie we were going to talk about.
I had a similar problem this weekend Googling something. You know, I love MMA, the UFC and all that stuff. And I'm not even going to say the word on YouTube. There's a type of choke, I guess, in jiu-jitsu or something, or Muay Thai or one of these things.
Mhm.
And it was saying a list of illegal moves. If you're under 12 or 14, you can't do knee locks or heel locks or any, and you can't do this or that. And then it said you couldn't do it rhymes with grape choke. And I'm
Oh,
like,
wow.
Wow.
there's a move called that in martial arts. And I wanted to look it up because, like,
Damn.
why would they?
No, you
And
didn't.
I didn't
You
look
can't.
it up. I'm not even trying to be funny,
You can't.
but I didn't look it up. But I found out the difference between strangulation and choking because I did look up list of MMA choke holds, rear naked and all the different and the triangle choke. Strangulation is cutting off the blood flow. Choking is cutting off the air. I didn't know there was a difference. So,
Okay.
And also with no changes, the grape. There is something called a grape something, but that involves your fly and all sorts of things going wrong. So you got to be careful. Do you know what I mean? You don't want that to happen either. And it's illegal in MMA as well, I've heard.
right.
I don't know if they have zippers in the ring.
Well, I don't know. I've something I've heard. I've never seen it.
Dolph Lundgren, Man of War is a sleeper hit. I'm gonna have to check it out. Love my
Oh,
Dolph
man.
Lundgren.
Yeah, and he was the original Punisher before Thomas Jane.
Right.
But that came out back in the day. I remember that was on
That was
used to be
like
Channel 36
1990.
back in the day. Yeah, yeah, it was a long time ago.
Yeah, that's one of those like you've stayed up kind of late on a Friday or Saturday.
Yeah.
And it's like late night cinema on Fox 31 or whatever.
USA up all night.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That kind of shit.
Yeah,
Where
those
you
were some,
wake up at 2 a.m. in the middle of this movie, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, we were up at 2 for sure. Yeah.
USA.
What's her name?
all night.
Rhonda?
Rhonda something.
I think so.
Whew.
Yeah, she had
Wow.
attributes.
Days.
She had some
Steve
attributes.
Holt hasn't seen Red Heat in 20 years. Well, my impression of Red Heat, Jericho, I'll ask you to take the lead a little bit because I've only seen the movie once, about 24 hours ago. I
Same
don't
here.
totally remember what I saw, but I did like it. It's missing a little something. It's Arnoldy, but it isn't Arnold. It isn't Get to the Chopper. It isn't that kind of Arnold. He's really subdued in this movie. You know what I mean? Compared to his other stuff. I saw some of the same faces, some of the barbarians from Conan and other things. You see these guys again. The guy he beats up in the snow. I'm certain that guy was in Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah.
You know what I
Both
mean?
guys he beats up in the snow.
Those are his lifting buddies, I guess.
So one guy, he throws him over his shoulder and then punches him, and that's all he could handle. But the other guy, he must hit him 4 or 5 times, and he finally, after he tries to get some info from him, then he hits it one more time, and then that guy's out. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot. If you want muscles and almost an industrial setting, maybe some sparks in the background and somebody smelting something in the same area. If you like that, and Gabe, I thought about you in the beginning. The orange light. The movie starts with a lot of orange. So it's in bathhouses. Do you want to start your movie off with industrial equipment and a bathhouse?
It's a bold move. We'll get it rolling in just a second.
Oh shit.
Joe Mello, thank you again, friend, for $4.99. Oh, okay. I watched it with my wife a month ago on Amazon Prime. He's talking about True Lies, I believe. Maybe it was taken off since then. How they switch out movies on other streaming? Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know the rhyme or reason to that.
It was hard to find. I could not find it.
Contractual, whatever, and the movies come and go, and
yeah.
So, but I now own Red Heat because I couldn't rent it. I had to buy it.
Yeah, $7.99. I'm a proud owner of Red Heat too. I'll be watching it again.
I own like 5 Arnold movies, and Red Heat is one of them.
Amazon, they're looking, what the fuck's wrong with this guy? I think all these Arnie movies.
So Red Heat.
Yeah.
Red Heat. We ready? I guess as
let's
ready
do
as
it.
we're going to be. Okay, let me remove the video, take the video out, and then present my screen, share screen. And Red Heat.
It's very the sound of the Soviet Union, that singing and stuff, that's the Soviet. Yeah. Lots of that.
Yeah.
Make a letter backwards. Let's do this.
Right.
Yeah, the N's and the R's were backwards and shit, but it was still in English.
Gotta love it.
I did.
I thought the movie, I thought it looked gorgeous and clear, and then I realized, they upscale it to Ultra HD or whatever. So this is not what people would have seen in 1988 or whatever.
No. And you guys remember when HD was coming out, how weird it looked? Like when you still had a regular TV, but to see HD for the first time, that shit looked weird. Now it's all we know, but that transition from regular TV or standard definition to HD was a trip.
Right.
Well, people didn't start getting glasses as soon, as they do now with HD, right? Because we're looking at things in 480 going, my vision's fine. I can see everything. Now people realize they need glasses like a decade sooner because of 1080p, man.
Right. So this movie starts off really weird. You just come out the gate and you are in a bathhouse in Russia. There are dudes lifting weights, people soaking in hot pools. I don't know if you're going to lift weights right next to a big pool of water and there's just steam everywhere. Everyone's like naked but wearing a towel.
Yes, except for the ladies.
But so I've been to gyms. I've been to locker rooms. I stepped into a sauna but didn't use it. I just stuck my head in there to see how hot it was once. I've never seen a co-ed steam room sauna bathhouse, but hey, like we said before the show, I guess they're trying to really sell us on communism here. You come to Russia, ladies in steam room with you, I guess, or something.
Hey, you guys don't like communism there. How about communism with tits? Because there was.
Tell you what,
I
thought the Red Star tassels were a little oversell. But you know what I mean? When those things started spinning,
you still have my
I was
attention,
like,
though. I'm still paying attention to your message.
Exactly.
It was great. And 80s action movies. Tits. You got to have titties in it right off the bat. Titties. And I'm glad they put loincloths on the men.
Yeah. John says boobs or moobs. Both, friend. Both.
So. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, give them to me.
You got to take the good with a bad.
Yeah, with the bad. I don't care. Give all shapes, sizes, conditions. Give them.
Right.
But this starts off with, like Gabe was saying, a combination. You want a weight room, you want a sauna, you want a swimming pool. Let's put it all in one area. Now, swimming pool, we all love them and everything, summertime, but just something about a hot tub, which basically that's what that is, with a bunch of people in it. I don't know, maybe because the water's hot. I don't know, just too many people.
Me out. It really grosses me out.
It really does.
Hold on, I want to get real gross here.
Please.
What I read this summer. So what got popular in the last few years in Vegas and really in Vegas, but then like Scottsdale and LA is day pools. It's for young singles. You go in your skimpy bikinis and the guys got their muscles. And it's like going to a bar. You're drinking, you're socializing, you're wading in 3-4 feet of water. And in Vegas and these places, they fill the pools with hundreds and hundreds of people. Now, we know they put chlorine in the water to kill bacteria, viruses, germs, but it can only do so much. And this report I read this summer said those day pools are filled with bacteria, viruses, and here's the showstopper, fecal matter.
Yes.
Too many people in the pools, and the chlorine can't handle it. So I knew I was right. I didn't like these damn day pools from the start, and I feel vindicated now. So anyway, that's what we're looking at here. It's just a
bunch of people in French onion soup like liquid.
Yeah, can we at least skim the top of that water every hour? But
everyone pees. That is weird when you go to the beach. No one leaves to go to the bathroom. It's real weird.
Everyone's like, no, I'm good. I don't gotta go. Go ahead.
Yeah.
But I will take that day pool and turn up the gross meter a few notches higher.
Oh, I
saw this documentary one time, and it's about in the gay community. There's these guys called bears, and they're big burly guys, big hairy chests, big, like
This
these
guy.
guys, just big dudes, beards, hairy guys. And they get together in this small town on the East Coast once a year. They quadruple the town's population for this weekend, but it's all dudes, and they all stay at this one hotel. And there was a scene or some shots of a swimming pool that they all go to at this, at this hotel. Dude,
wait. Is this real or is this from like a movie?
It's real. No, it's a documentary on Vice TV, Viceland or whatever.
Oh.
And there wasn't an inch of water that didn't have some big ass dudes standing in it. And I was like, that has got to be the most disgusting, infected body of water on the planet. I mean, there were hundreds of dudes, just dudes standing. It was just.
All I can say is, man, this is what's great about it, though. We are 30 minutes in, and we are so off the rails. It's
what rails?
Beautiful.
What rails?
I know we don't. Where we're going, we don't need rails.
Right. Yeah, we were off the trail, buddy. We were just bumping off the logs and the rock.
It's monkeypox soup. Let's do this.
Let's get back on the paved part.
No, here, Arumafay has it. Yeah. The monkeypox borscht.
Yeah, you give me bowl, I give you a couple spoonfuls of monkeypox stew.
So anyway, Arnold trudges through the poop soup, and you get a nice shot of his behind. It looks like he was working his glutes real good.
Yeah.
In preparation for T2, when he's wearing those tight jeans and bending over, by the way, at the end of the movie, he got his glutes maxed out. And he goes into some room with some big tough dudes, and a guy puts a burning hot stone in his hand in the sauna.
Yeah, he tells him they're testing him because they think he's not who he says he is. He's like undercover or some shit.
Right.
And he says, if you have the hands of a foundry worker, you should be able to hold this hot stone in your hand. You should be used to the heat. So that's why he puts the stone in his hand to see if he's really one of these foundry workers like he claims to be.
Right.
And he's holding the stone, and he's holding it for a few seconds, and it's smoking in his hand. And he's balling his hand up, and he's slowly bringing his hand up. The camera pans up the bicep, and you have to. And, his arms are just ridiculous. So they pan up his bicep, and he's squeezing it, and then he turns his hand, and he punches this dude. And I'd say hands down, the weirdest punch sound effect ever. I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a psh, psh, but it's more than that. It's that with like, I don't even know. Like you're punching... Like you're punching a bear, like punching the side of a bear, like almost I don't even know how to. You just gotta watch it. But he punches this guy. He goes flying out the window, through the window, out the window, into the snow. And then he grabs the other guy. There's another guy standing there, and he grabs him, and they go out the window too. You see, you almost see Taint. It's close.
Yes, it's very close. It's like in the NFL when the guy runs a 40-yard touchdown, but he may have stepped out of bounds. So you got to pause it, and then they zoom in on the sideline.
Like they had a Taint monitor on set. There
was like booty crack, like blade of grass, just like the football cleat right next to the out of bounds.
It was
very close,
too close for comfort. And
after further review, the ruling on the field stands. We did not see his taint.
No taint. The crowd goes, yes. I didn't want to see that.
First down.
All these guys, big buff dudes, a lot of usual faces. And so he grabs this guy and goes out the window with him. So now all three of them out in the snow, butt naked. This is in like Russia. I don't know if it actually took place in Russia. They filmed it there, but pretty damn close, like 6-8 feet of snow out there. So we ain't talking powder. So they both go out, all three go out the window. The Asian looking guy who put the stone in his hand, he goes to hit him. Arnold goes down, flips him over his shoulder. He gets up. While Arnold's punching him, this guy comes behind Arnold, hits him in the kidneys, gives him a couple shots to the face. Then Arnold turns around, punches this dude 4 or 5 times. Notice he's still conscious. I don't know if you could take a punch, 3-4 punches from Arnold in your jaw and remain with us, but he does. And then he's telling him, "I want Rashta, Victor Rashta." This is the bad guy. This is at this point a criminal. They want him for murder, but the murder's not so close to home to Arnold at this point.
Right. Yeah.
And so he's telling him, "I want Victor. Where's Victor?"
Initial scene, you get casual boobage in a cesspool. You get Arnold's backside looking like he doesn't look like he skips leg day. I'll tell you that.
Yep.
and then he beats the brakes off of these two dudes out in the snow.
Sven.
Not a good day for them.
Yeah, he's
Yeah, he
punching
fucks him
Sven
up.
Ole Thorson, fully bearded, in this, which is so wild.
Right, and he's in what? Conan the Barbarian, and
Yeah,
where
he's
else?
in
did we
Conan.
see him?
He's the guy who gets the, I believe, he's the guy who gets the spike through him in the booby trap that he rigs. Where there's that giant horn at the end. He's one of the two big guys on either side of our man.
And I've seen this guy even into the 90s playing, a huge henchman, huge Russian henchman.
Yeah.
This guy's been all over. He was in Low Down Dirty Shame with Keanu Ivory Wayans in like 95. This guy's been in all kinds of shit. If you start looking through in the background of these Arnold movies in the 80s, you're going to see a lot of familiar faces. And so he wants the whereabouts of this Victor Roshta. It's like Rostovsky or something, but they just call him Roshta. Victor Roshta. And like I was telling you guys before we got on here, when Arnold's speaking Russian, because he plays a Russian police officer, it's good. He sounds like he's Russian. His Russian is great. It's not, chunky or choppy or, he totally sounds like somebody trying to speak Russian. It's authentic. Now, the way he speaks outside of that.
I would love to see Arnold in a movie someday, like trying to do like a Southern accent or something like that. Like, oh, hi, y'all. Like that kind of Georgia. I wonder what that would sound like if he was trying to do that.
Man, I would picture Arnold with more of maybe a foghorn leghorn, like distinguished, gentleman from the South. Like a
boy.
Yeah, like a more
sweet
of a
boy, but about as sharp as a sack of wet mice. Like that kind of thing,
That boy ain't wrapped too tight.
Right.
That kind of guy. That
he beats these guys up. Asks them where's Victor Rosta, and then we cut to like the opening credits and all the regalia of the police and their formation marching.
A lot of goose stepping.
Right.
a lot of dyslexia.
A lot of goose stepping.
A lot of interesting things going on. And we cut to a stakeout where Arnold and some other police officers are going to surround what seems like a pub. There's music, there's food, there's beer. It's a cultural center for this neighborhood or whatever. Arnold's going to go in and try and arrest Victor Rosta. I guess the naked man in the snow gave up the goodies. And
well, that sounds weird.
Well,
the naked man in the snow.
Hey,
gave up the
listen,
goodies.
you got to stay warm. Body heat.
Hey, you guys want to freeze or what? Get over here. We could just go back inside the building, but
right.
So, that's Arnold's partner. That's you get the sense that that's his partner.
Right.
That's his boy. And one thing I like that they did in this movie, they didn't have these people speaking English for our benefit in Russia. You'll have them, obviously they're in a foreign country. They're not speaking English. No, they speak Russian to each other. A lot of subtitle reading in the beginning of this movie, but it wasn't hard to do. And it didn't take, we didn't have to focus so much on reading to, I don't want to miss the story. Trust me, it's not too deep, but I like how they did that, they was authentic. They spoke Russian, but even the pub, it's still very real. This is Russia in the late 80s, the collapse of the Soviet Union and all that shit. It was hard times over there. So you can see that in this movie. Like in the last scene, you can see that car all fucked up on the sidewalk behind him. Right. It's hard times over there. And this guy, that scene starts with this guy singing, this Russian song, playing on the piano in this bar.
Yeah, they got the location. I think they filmed a lot of this in Austria because of the stuntman that passed away. They said he was in Austria filming this when it happened. The stuntman, assistant director guy. But I saw that little burned out car there, and I thought, oh, it looks really authentic. They have the Russian writing on that building, the Cyrillic writing. And then another piece of junk car drives by behind them while they're talking about the stakeout here, and it looked like a European, kind of shitbox kind of car. I thought, oh wow, that really makes you. Even if they filmed this in, Toronto, they made it look like you're there. So I appreciated that. Yeah.
Yeah, very authentic. I wouldn't be surprised if they did film some of this in Russia, and if they didn't, like you said, they did a great job of making it look that way.
And I liked this guy. He was just banging away on the piano, singing some sort of Russian folk song. It was very emotionally charged. And you get this panning through the pub. I don't have it all. Arnold comes in looking like, grim death here. And you see waitresses and like lovers on dates and a little bit of family, probably brothers. And there's, dozens and dozens of people in here. Yeah. And you can tell this is the neighborhood hangout. And they don't like it when these kind of guys come around. Because Arnold comes in and starts walking through the place looking around. He's looking for Victor Rosta, and everyone just is kind of quiet and looking. And there's a really sad, pathetic moment where I don't know if he's the manager, bartender, chef. He's in charge of something.
Yeah.
He's kind of on that halfway between the kitchen and coming out. He says, there's no problem here. We're all fine, is what he's telling Arnold. Like, please don't destroy everything in a restaurant.
Yes, please don't have a fight with 20 dudes in here and fuck my restaurant up again.
Right, because if you've ever read about communist Russia, one of the greatest works ever about it is the Gulag Archipelago by Solzhenitsyn. It's a nightmare. It doesn't seem real what the Communist Party did to the citizens and stuff there. It's beyond what you think about control and authoritarianism and just tyranny. So when these figures show up, the people are just like,
and they look like he looks the part. Terrified. The uniform.
Marxism always works, but its definition of working is kind of the problem.
You don't want it to work right.
You don't want it to work right, but it's highly effective at promoting human misery and death.
Some would say it's the most effective way to do it. So
some would say it is the most effective and yet still popular among the intellectual class, and we'll leave it there. So it's like, but yeah, I mean, you it's an interesting thing because we've had some interesting movies that have tackled that period and the relationship during this time between Soviet Russia in its death throes, so to speak, at least in terms of its name, and the United States. But I actually think there is a lot of room. There's a lot of stuff that was never covered, that was quietly ignored, that you see in books like the Gulag Archipelago. You see, in all of these stories. You hear, we talked about this, you hear Ayn Rand talk about it. But I do think when I was watching this movie, that one, it was a really interesting thing to juxtapose, but I thought, man, we haven't done, I'd love to see, we've done a lot of 80s period pieces lately. I'd love to see an 80s period piece that starts to, tackle some of that stuff authentically. I think it'd be real, go into it a little bit deeper even.
Right.
Fascinating. Yeah. We just did, that whole realm has been pretty much ignored. It's really strange. Yeah. For decades.
That's this part is and he even says something to him. You guys are always messing with us Georgians, that further emphasizes how people who wear Arnold's uniform, and you get the sense that he's a good cop, like he's not an asshole. He's in here. Yeah. He wants the drugs and the bad people off the street. So he may not be like one of those officers that strike fear in those people, like obviously that worker, that manager had in him, and it's painfully obvious. It's not like, oh, there's a couple of people looking. No, it's almost like the music stops. You hear the record scratch, and people are staring at him at like the spectacle that he is walking through that pub. And he goes up, he finds Victor Roshta, and he's standing around there. And then even his buddy's standing around, and they both stand up and like, yeah, why are you picking on us? Why are you messing with us Georgians? And it's like on some political shit. It's almost like, the Irish and the English, in like the 80s with the IRA and shit. Like these guys, these police and stuff are a real authoritarian force, and these people are scared of them. And but they seem to have some balls too, because these guys are standing up to him like, "Fuck you, get out of here! You don't belong here. Why are you fucking with us?" and all this stuff. So they're standing up to him and talking shit. And then one of the other guys, they get up and they get mouthy, and they're like, well, "Not this guy, but another guy with like a beard, long hair."
Yeah, there's a third guy with a mullet.
Yeah, with a Russian mullet, and he stands up and he gets mouthy and he's like, there's no drugs here. There's nothing here. And then Arnold goes, oh yeah? Let's explain how he gets his wooden leg in his
right. It's hand, brutal. He grabs a guy, judo flips him over. Everyone's screaming. The lady's screaming. These two guys are friends of the now legless man. And Arnold goes to break what you think, I thought as a viewer of the movie, just break the guy's knee. And I'm like, what the fuck? That's too much, officer. But when he cranks the knee, he pulls it off, and a mountain of some of the finest Bolivian marching powder comes right out of that knee.
Looks like a plug in there to hold the coke in there so it doesn't spill. So this guy's not absorbing cocaine through his nub.
It's not a bag, though, dude. It's not in a bag.
Yeah, I'm like, why is it loose?
It's just loose. Do you guys know how cocaine works?
I thought he was going to pull out a bag, like a Ziploc bag full of coke. No.
Yeah.
And this is eventually going to go up somebody's nose. So you got Russian nub juice in your coke, and he just opens it up and dumps out loose powdered cocaine.
Booger sugar is still one of the funniest words I've ever phrased.
Yeah, man. Booger or Dookie? I'm listening.
Now, hold on. Now, it wasn't in a bag. This boog of sugar, this Bolivian marching powder. Now, Mr. Schwarzenegger, when you filmed this, for authenticity's sake, they used real booger sugar, and it must have gone and wafted up in the air. Did it affect you in any way? Because I know you did like 87 takes of this scene. Did it affect you at all?
Yeah, it did. It affected me tremendously because every time we do it, they God, do it again, reload the stump, put more coke in there.
but I would think it would give you the energy to do all those takes, right?
Yeah. Well, after I was like, "Hey, you guys, you sure you don't want to do that again? And maybe we should do the lighting over here, and I should punch that guy again. And we go out the window, we roll around in the snow." It was a lot, and then in one take, blood came out of my nose right here, and they were like, "Cut, Arnie,
you got a little something."
Yeah, he went.
There was something there.
He went to his trailer and killed 3 maids.
No, I killed their vaginas, not them.
I heard about that. That's I buy these on the Criterion Collection Blu-ray, so I can get those kind of extras. So
yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, Mr. E does point out, I hope that wasn't his good foot. Yeah. So
hey, get on the good foot.
If your legs could be filled with anything besides muscle and bone, what would you have your legs filled with, guys?
Gravy.
Bacon. Gravy. Bacon. Dude, this is the thing, though. This is the craziest shit about this. I kept thinking about this. Is that because when he pulls the leg off, it's not in any baggies. And because of the way it fell, I go, for all you know, this is like Soviet Russia. It could have been flour for baking.
Yeah,
we're trying to save.
Make bread for my family.
It's like we're smuggling flour. We're flour smuggling
How
operation.
hard it is to get a bag of all-purpose.
Cocaine is cheap here, guys.
Right.
We're
I don't care
for
about
bread.
the coke. That shit was already sick. That was semolina.
Flour for my babushka to make
My babushka. To make cake for my son. He has one leg and one eyeball.
Takes that leg and hits a little old lady who was trying to bake some.
All right. Well, yeah. So he rips the guy's leg. So
Yeah,
then,
yanks that dude's leg
right.
off.
So people jump up. People start shooting back and forth. Everyone's hitting the floor, and they chase him outside. And remember, the partner cop was talking to Arnold. We'll get in position for when you flush him out. Basically, they're anticipating these guys might run, and they do. So the main guy, the guy with the nose there. By the way, great face on this guy. He had he was in the one scene in Lethal Weapon, and he was also, what else did we say he was in?
He was in 48 Hours.
Right, yeah. He's a great villain. He got a great face for a villain. He looks so angry, mean.
And he ended up being a villain in 48 Hours. And what else was he in? He was
he was also
Action Jackson.
Yeah, Action Jackson, first guy to get killed. First guy with that lady in the opening scene. Right. Yeah, I mean, telling you, you're going to see a lot of familiar faces in this movie. These guys, I don't know what they're doing now, but their phone must have been ringing off the damn hook in the 80s.
Yeah, so he is Victor Rostov. He's the main villain here, the guy with the brown hair and the crazy looking nose. Anyway, after the cocaine leg, they're running around outside, and the cops are out there shooting. A couple cops get shot.
His partner gets shot.
Yeah.
His partner has the drop on him. He comes around the corner, and they almost run into each other. He has the drop on Victor Rashta, and then he goes to cuff him or whatever, and he has this gun come out of his sleeve, and it shoots out into his hand, and he shoots Arnold's partner like 2-3 times or whatever and kills him. And then he takes off, another great action movie trope, chase scene on foot. And I'd like to see a real action like a Mythbusters. How long can you run full speed through a city? Jumping over walls. He's up on a roof right here. Like, really, how long can you do that? Because in the movies, it's like 5 or 10 minutes long. These guys are running full speed upstairs, jumping across shit. Right. And he tells him, he's like, I got his brother in the leg.
The brother is the baldy
guy
on the left, the more bald guy. Yeah.
And he shot him in the leg. And then that's when he goes around, and that's his brother. And then the
brother, he makes such a dumb decision here. I don't know. He gets surrounded. There's like 3-4 cops in front of him. He's trying to go down the stairs. He turns around, and Arnold's up on top of the roof, but he decides to shoot at Arnold instead of just surrendering. But whatever, and he gets lit up. He gets killed. This guy.
Arnold's at the top of the stairs behind him. And then that's when Arnold pulls out his Pod Byron 9.2 millimeter. That's the name of that gun. It's basically was it a Luger P-38, that infamous Nazi handgun? If that and a Desert Eagle had a baby, it's basically a Desert Eagle with an extended barrel, like extra 3-4, or like I'd say a 3-inch barrel on it. So an extended barrel on a Desert Eagle, shoots a 357. So big round, big guy, makes sense. And he gives this guy 4 or 5 of those to the chest. And I'm not a doctor. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm not wearing a white coat. But 4 or 5 shots from a 357 in your torso, it's a wrap. Some of your mom's getting a phone call.
That's curtains.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah, and it's a pretty badass gun. Here it is. The Pod Bryn or Pod Byron, whatever, and there he is with it in the movie.
Have you cut that extra barrel off, like right there where it's flat? That's a Desert Eagle. Yeah. They just put like an extended barrel on it because I'm
like
sure
the Desert Eagle and the Luger had a baby with the frumpy Latina maid.
Yeah,
that's right.
Come here. come here. So
what's your best line? That's it right there. Come here.
I'm Anya. What do I have to say to her? Come here. And then boom. That's
Arnold's partner.
Yeah, laid to rest.
Laid to rest. Very interesting. The casket is in the ground halfway, and he's exposed. I guess that's a different tradition. So, yeah.
There's some strange.
So cold there.
There's some strange post-death traditions around the world. I remember listening to a Richard Pryor skit where he's talking about his mom died in winter in Peoria, Illinois, and they were at the funeral, and his dad was like, "Shit, put that bitch in the ground. It's cold." Like he wanted to get back in the house. So I thought about that in the scene, but yeah, it must be pretty chilly. Moscow, winter time. That's a hell of a time to bury somebody. And how they dig the hole, because that ground has to be frozen solid. But anyway, that's and Arnold's character is named Captain Danko.
Right, Ivan Danko, right?
Is it Ivan Danko?
I think it's Ivan, or I just made that up.
It could be. Feels right.
It's Ivan now. I'll look it up real quick. Go ahead, though.
And he's telling him, hey, Victor Rashta left the country. I want you to go get him. But don't tell the Americans anything. Don't tell them anything about what's going on and what the case is. Just go get him, bring him back, keep shit quiet. And this is throughout the movie. They keep reminding you that the Russian, it's against their culture and the way they do business. They don't want people knowing shit. They don't want the outside knowing anything about what's going on. So he keeps a lot of information from Jim Belushi throughout the course of their investigation.
And one thing about that they emphasize that you just touched on a little bit is they touch on the trashiness of American culture. And we don't have drugs here. We don't have cocaine. That's American nonsense. And we're not going to let that spread around here like those filthy capitalists and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so they hit on that a few times here for Arnold's character's motivation too.
Yeah, there's definitely
being whacked too.
Yeah, but they didn't tell that to the guy with the stump full of cocaine. So there's some drugs in Russia.
It's all purple flour for my babushka.
I found that
remember my son, one leg, eyeball.
I found that bit a little hard to swallow, kids. The pristine, drug-free communist Russia. Yeah. I bet you, again, cocaine was out on the table. Flour was hidden in the leg. I'm telling you right now. That's horseshit. Like, I couldn't even tolerate. I was like going, people, please. That is not what was really happening. Okay, it's like when they're like kind of like, yeah.
If we know anything about communist Russia, we know that organized crime did not play a major part.
Didn't exist. Didn't play a role. I mean, it was organized if you mean bureaucratically organized, but outside of that, hell, man.
But very much so. Throughout the movie, it's we are above that. Our culture's better. America is filthy and dirty. There's a scene where, anyway, we'll get to it when he gets to his hotel, his motel. But yeah, we're dirty. We're filthy. We're out of control. But don't share anything with them. But he sends him to America to find Victor Rashta. And if you are waiting for Arnold to have any other expression on his face other than this one, you're going to be sorely you're sorely mistaken. You're going to be disappointed because
don't hold your breath.
He's a robot.
Switch movies. That's the only way it's going to happen.
Switch now.
So we cut to Chicago.
Yeah.
And, Victor Rashta is wasting no time at all.
He just got off the
he just got.
I love this. I love like in like Ocean's 11 or the Parker novels by I think it's Westlake. Richard Stark's Parker is Donald Westlake. Blah blah blah. They're great crime things. and they explain to you how the crime works step by step, and they show it to you in some of those fun caper movies or novels. If you haven't read Parker by Richard Stark, you got to check him out. Darwin Cook did some graphic novels of him for about 6 years straight. He put out one graphic novel a year. They're amazing. But the way he does this drug deal, he goes up to a payphone that's next to another payphone, and he calls the payphone next door, and they work out a deal. And then he sticks $100 bill out and rips it in half, and the guy takes $100 bill. You'll see what happens to that. But I love the cleverness there. I don't know why I like all the subterfuge, but I love it. But yeah, Victor wastes no time. He's making some deal with with this guy who's got a little Bill Dukes in his mouth, right? You got that same same frown and those bleary eyes that Dukes had too.
And he calls them the clean heads. That's how Jim Belushi refers to these guys because they're all bald headed. He calls them the clean heads. Yeah, it's almost like Victor landed and like, take me straight to a payphone. I need to start my business right now. And this movie does move quick. I honestly looked up and was like, oh shit, there's just 20 minutes left. Like it moves pretty fast.
Yeah. Although he had a secretary though, man, because honestly, he got off the plane and she's like, "Hi, Victor. Sorry, in 10 minutes you've got an appointment in a phone booth." Like there was no setup for this. Someone else was on the ground.
Yeah, it was just next scene, Victor payphone. And he's setting up a deal with these guys. And like you said, Gabe, go back one scene to Victor's face. That dude looks like, don't tell me he's a good guy. I don't ever want to see him playing a doting dad or some shit. That guy has the face of a villain. And in this movie, this is the coldest I've ever seen. He's played bad guys and other shit, but he's played the kind of bad guy where he's good in the beginning and then you find out later he's a piece of shit. This dude, Victor Rushta, right off the bat, monster. And even his face. Then there's a scene at the end, the final battle between him and Arnold. This dude's he plays a Russian crook, amazing, and he's not Russian. His last name's like O'Ross. He's like an American dude. Yeah, plays the shit out of it though.
Yeah, I read about him. He was Pennsylvania somewhere, grew up Catholic, this, that, and the other. Sounds a bit Irish to me with the Catholic and the Pennsylvania and the O'Ross.
Yeah, O'Ross. Yeah.
I don't know if he's Irish, but it sounded that way to me. But so we see him. He's doing a deal with this guy from 2 feet away. And then we get to meet Jim Belushi, the Chicago detective who's going to team up with Arnold. And he's making comments about the lady in the magenta top.
Yeah, he's like something like, tits alert or something like that.
He tells the guy, "You think she paid for those? I think they're homegrown." And the other guy's like looking at him like,
just the most over-the-top American 80s cop. Like, hey, you want a hot dog? Just a fucking. I'm surprised they didn't have a scene where he pours Pepto-Bismol in a blender with a beer and a piece of pizza and some shit. Just a total, just American. This is the guy that Russia thinks we all are. Is this cop, right? Or just a pig? Hey, look at those tits! Looking at these prostitutes. I mean, but he plays it perfectly. Jim Belushi was made for this fucking role.
Right. So, yeah, he's there with his partner who I recognize but don't recognize. I know I've seen him in other things.
Yeah.
And then Larry Fishburne is there, and he's like a higher level. He must be a lieutenant or something. And he's just rolling his eyes at Jim Belushi like, you're ridiculous.
And why are there three of them? When do you see 3 cops working together like that? Like 3 partners?
Because they're going to, I don't know why it'd be 3, but they're going to go bust some of the clean heads. They've been following on the clean heads who are, I guess, drug dealers, gun runners, just organized criminals.
Yeah, there's a group of bald-headed black dudes who are part of this organization that's run from prison. But a few more 80s action movie tropes that we must point out. If you go back, the leather shoulder holster. Every cop had a leather shoulder holster. I've never seen a cop in real life with one. I'm sure they exist, but it had to have the shoulder holster. Then go to the next scene where they're standing outside the door. Or no, not this one. After that,
sorry,
not the tits, but you can see Larry Fishburne with that little tiny 38. I got respect for a 38. It's a serious round, but these little, I used to, even as a kid, I was like, why you got that fucking little starter pistol? Well, Belushi has a 357, but
right. I mean, it's got 5 shots, right? It doesn't even have 6.
So pissed at
5
and
shots.
You're in Chicago?
You better not miss. I'll tell you that. Oh, real quick, Barb Rogers. Let me throw this up here. I don't want to miss you here, Barb. Thank you so much. Where did that go?
Hail, Barb Rogers.
For $5 Canadian, which could be $1 billion, guys. I have no idea. Sends a super sticker again. Thank you so much. Very generous.
$1 billion Canadian.
Why can't I get this to scroll? I can't get this thing to scroll for some reason. There we go.
There you go.
It's the dancing little kitsune, the little Japanese fox, I guess. Thank you, Bob.
There you go.
Appreciate it.
Remember in Barbed Wire where he goes, "How do you want to get paid? 50,000 Canadian."
I know the guy that
so
created
funny.
Barbed Wire. Christopher Warner is an editor at Dark Horse Comics, and he's at least one of the co-creators. I worked on a Barbed Wire comic, so
He what a wasted opportunity with that movie. That movie could have been so much better with Pamela Anderson.
yeah.
It could have been so much better, man.
Right.
What a fucking missed opportunity that was.
Yeah,
50,000 Canadian.
So they get a jump on the clean heads. I think it shows them like doing something with drugs. I don't know if they're putting them in
They're bagging up crack.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't get past the clean heads thing.
You know what the clean
Like,
heads
I just picture these guys like immaculate heads. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just like,
Right.
what's your thing? These look spotless. I dare you to find any flaws.
Yep,
Yeah, so these guys are literally in the middle of bagging up crack cocaine, illegal firearms laying around everywhere. And these three guys, no SWAT team, no bulletproof vest. They just kick the door in. Hey, hands up, asshole. And they take these guys into custody. But there's a guy in a room that they have to search. And in that room, he has a shotgun.
A big old shotgun.
Yeah.
I think the clean heads would have been better to put the crack into a fake leg, you know?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but we don't know if Arnold has called him yet. By the way, watch out for the fake leg with the drugs in there. We don't know that.
What other body parts could you hide? Fake body parts could you hide drugs in? Think about that for a minute.
If you had like a fake ass.
Yeah, dude. Here's the thing, though. Can we talk about this, though? In the 80s and into the 90s a little bit, we had an absolute obsession with fake limbs. A fake limb that was a claw, a fake limb that was a machine gun, a fake limb that hid stuff in it. We couldn't get enough of prosthetics. We couldn't get enough of any of it, man. I'm telling you, and that's another thing that's missing in pop culture today.
Yep.
You know, like, shit, I remember in Darkman, the guy who had the machine gun leg. Do you remember that guy? Where they just, like, grab his leg, rip it off, and it's like this gun. It was beautiful, man. So, yeah, I love that stuff.
None the miser. You listen, bud. I know you're trying to help. You cannot hide cocaine in a fake nose.
Fake
for
nose.
a very obvious reason. You're not going to have any left. You're not going to have any left by the time you get to your deal. If you're
like, where'd all that coke go?
Blood will shoot out your eyeballs.
Why are you grinding your teeth like that? Oh.
Why are you grinding your gums?
Yeah. But I appreciate the effort. Anyway, so they get the drop on these two guys that were bagging up drugs. But a third guy in another room that they're about to go search, boom, he's got a shotgun. They chase him through the house. He starts running down the stairs.
And he's blowing holes in shit too. Like he blew holes.
He's blowing the hole in the stairs. Yeah.
Yeah, he's fucking shit up.
So guy in the back, a white guy with the tie, the black tie, don't know his name, but I recognize him somehow. Him and Lawrence Fishburne are coming down the stairs, and the shotgun guy's got the drop on him. And then in a great move, Belushi comes through the door downstairs at the bottom of the stairs outside, puts the gun right next to the guy's head. Freeze, mofo. And it's a great move. I'm surprised he didn't shoot the guy because the guy was shooting at his partners.
Yeah, he could have. He could have blown that fool's head off right there. Justified. Yeah, he goes, freeze, motherfucker. And he goes, you look like Marvin Hagler. I lost money on Hagler. And he arrests him. You know, the classic, these guys were just in a life-threatening situation. But hey, let's crack some jokes. Let's be funny.
Right.
You know, let's be real, first of all. Was anybody else pissed about that? I was like, look, I like red heat. Communism pisses me off, all right? But look, I come down on the side of Hagler versus Leonard. And I want to be clear about this, okay? You can't just those flurries at the end of every round that he stole that fight with. I'm just saying, I got real upset. Almost turned the movie off. I was like, you're going to bring up something that painful in the middle of this movie? Too soon.
I'm glad you did it. I'm glad you didn't turn the movie off, Sean.
I know, I pushed on. Nevertheless, I persevered.
You were in for a treat.
Hashtag me too.
You are in for a treat, sir.
Right.
Yes, indeed.
So we cut back to I don't know who's leaving in the car here. I forgot who that is.
That's he was supposed to meet the clean heads at a certain spot. He told him, meet me here at this time.
Right.
And he didn't because they were getting mixed up with the cops. So Victor shows up to where they were supposed to meet. They weren't there. He's pissed off. And so he speeds off in his car.
Right. We cut back to Russia. and
Yeah.
some police officials are talking about what they're going to do with Ivan Danko. I did look it up. It is Ivan. They're going to send Ivan to the evil capitalist nation.
Yeah.
How dare you
And these
say
guys
that,
are
Gabe? Of America, and they're going to go get Victor, and they're going to bring him back.
And these guys are talking shit. And, no disrespect to his mustache, because that shit's beautiful. But they're standing there saying, oh, he's going to Chicago. Oh, gangster. Machine guns and stuff. Like they're laughing, shitting on America.
Right.
And
if they really want to talk about them, I'd say, reliable hot and cold water, reliable electricity, a job if you want to work and make money.
No thong fights in the snow. How about that, bitch?
You think you're better than me with your electricity, and half of your children don't die every winter.
Yeah, I know. We're not naked in the snow fencing, okay? Chill out.
Where do you hide your cocaine? What limb in America?
Oh, you hide in your arm, your fake arm. In Russia, we hide in leg. Speaking of fake arms, there was this girl in elementary school who had a fake arm, like from the elbow down, and it had these little metal pinchers, and she would pinch kids with
That's
it.
what you got to do.
Really?
Yeah, and I remember thinking to myself, if you pinch me with your hand, I'm gonna kick your ass. Don't touch me.
Yeah, where do you hide the cocaine in America? In the writer's room. Can't you tell?
We hide in our nostrils like you're supposed to, like a fucking American.
It's all over the table.
You can't get high if it's in your fucking leg, Yvonne.
Oh.
You stupid communist bastard. You can't get high if it's in your fucking leg, man.
Oh God, cocaine shoeys. They're just like
But good thing it had that little plug in there. Like his nub wasn't like sitting in the coke, because I don't want the top coke. Get me under that. I don't want that nub sweat in my coke.
I missed a beautiful comment earlier, and I want to give a shout out to Mr. E, and it was way back there. And he said, he goes, when we were talking about what was in the leg, he goes, it was bootleg flour. I just
right, bravo.
Mr. E crushed it, baby.
That's a good one.
This is the scene. For some reason, Jim Belushi has it out for Arnold already. I don't know if he's a communist prick or whatever. And I appreciate his disdain for Russia, because at the time, Russia was our enemy in real life. We're just coming off of the Cold War. So I appreciate that part of it, but he's kind of being a dick. I mean, he's walking off the plane. He's like, this fucking asshole. So his partner actually goes up to Arnold and introduces himself. It was very awkward to watch, by the way. So you hungry? No. You thirsty? No, I'm fine. How was your flight? Fine. Like, it was just fucking, it went on for like 30 seconds too long. And Belushi doesn't even come up to him. He stands back. He doesn't even introduce himself. He's a prick. And he goes, hey, we're done with this, love fest or whatever you say. Let's get out of here. And so he tells him, it's about a 30-minute ride to the city. So the whole time in the ride to the city, the partner's in the background just, the weather here, it's so crazy, just fucking talking like, shut up. And he tells him, and Jim Belushi tells him, yeah, you know what humidity is, right? It's moisture in the air. And he's like, well, what's the weather like in Russia? It's cold, no moisture. Like he's telling him, and the guy was, Jim Belushi was giving him shit like, oh, wow, you speak English. So what, like they expect him to be like, oh, there's bullish, and like have no fucking English skills.
Спасибо, до свидания.
So they're like shocked that he can fucking speak English.
You triggered a great memory when you said you speak English so well. My wife, who was born in America, grew up on an Indian reservation when she was younger. First language is English. She's fully fluent in Spanish. One time, poor man, I feel sorry for him. No offense. Me and my wife didn't take any offense. At church, an older white gentleman was talking to my wife, probably like first time ever. Well, Greeley, Colorado was like very, very white. It is. That's where we lived when we were in college. And he told my wife, you speak English really well. And she was like, I should.
I'm from here.
So I'll tell you, the best thing you can say, though, I remember when I was in situations people legitimately would ask me, I'd be like, stay out somewhere, and they'd be like, hi. And I'd turn around, and they'd say, do you speak English? And as a kid, my favorite thing to say was, no.
Nope.
And just let that hang in the air,
Oh my gosh, I had an embarrassing one today, just like the guy to my wife. I was at Sprouts, the hippie grocery store. Well, I was waiting to get a key program for a car. And in Pacific Beach, California, there's a lot of vagrants, So the bathrooms inside of places, you got to get a key or a code. So I go to the back. I got to take a leak, and I'm like, the bathroom has that code thing on it. So I turn to my right, and the manager's office there, and there's two what I think are women working on a computer there that work there. Very small, like 5'3", 5'4", long flowing brown hair, beautiful long hair, halfway down the back. I go, excuse me, miss, can you tell me the code to turns around, has a beard and a mustache. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, I'm so sorry.
Cut your fucking hair or put it up.
He just laughed. But friend from Sprouts, take it as a compliment that you have beautiful hair.
Hey, so, at least you go, hey, toots, and squeeze it. Hey, how do I get in here? Anyway, that's a little different.
Yeah,
I remember I was a trader working at Trader Joe's, and I'm ringing up this lady, and she has her son. He's like 10 or 11, too old to be saying this shit. And he goes, and I hear his mom go, I hear his mom say to him, yes, he is African American. I'm like, what? I look up at her. She goes, where are you from? I was like, here. I was like, you do see my name tag, right? It's not like Ubuntu or some shit. Like it's a fucking. What do you think I'm from, you idiot? Where do I look like I'm from? Oh my God. Yes, he is African American. And I had a lady come up to me.
Shit.
I was working on Martin Luther King Day. She comes up behind me and goes, she puts her hand on my shoulder. Happy Martin Luther King Day. It's like,
are you fucking? You're lying.
I swear to God,
dude.
And her other hand was on her chest. Like, I feel your pain. She said,
Did she take a knee into it?
This was before that. This was before taking a knee.
Did she apologize to you, Jericho?
I just want to apologize on behalf of all white people. I was like, are you serious? Oh, yeah. It's painful. It's painful to watch.
One of my first things we ever watched on your channel, Jericho, was you talking about your friend getting a greeting card, getting a card apology.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how far back that was, but that was one of our first experiences, my wife and I. Now, I'm not saying we are not, in some bouillabaisse hot tub in Russia. So we're not, you know what I mean? We're not savages. So I'm not going to say that we pissed the sofa laughing. Okay, I'm not going to say that. I won't admit that here on Double Impact, that my wife and I just pissed through the sofa laughing at that story. We may have, but I'm not confirming that here. Holy shit. We were just, if you could have seen our faces, it would have made your year. Because we were just like, because it's fucking insane.
It's
like,
unreal.
It's fucking insane. What the fuck world am I living in? Sorry.
Yeah, jeez. And it was just what you think. It was in Berkeley, California, of course. And it was just this patchouli oil smelling. She gave him a card apologizing for white people.
The day after Donald Trump won the election, the editor-in-chief or whatever, DC Comics, in an email to me said, people like her will protect me from Trump and his followers. Dude. I didn't write her back because I had to be like in the closet Republican when I worked there. But in my head, it's like, what are you going to protect me from? I voted for him.
Yeah.
What on earth are you talking about?
I wanted this.
I think I just go back like, yeah, thanks or whatever.
I'm going to let you in. I'm going to let you in on a little secret, guys. It was one of the best weeks of my life was after Trump got elected, because in New England, where literally, I'm in Massachusetts, where critical race theory was invented, basically, in Harvard by Bell, right? Like, it's where it was grown in a lab to destroy society, right? I was going into crowded fucking restaurants with 50-minute waits, like, at dinner time when I was teaching, and getting a table right this way, sir! And all I had to do was just go in there and be like, I'm feeling a little down, guys, I mean, it's not because of all of the horrific things I've experienced in my life. It's this one election that's made you so sad.
This is it. Yeah, this was it.
And I'd like the lobster.
Yeah,
dude. And
her whiteness will shield.
Glorious.
His people were wearing safety pins on their lapel. And that showed that they were an ally. Like, that was a safe person for you.
Please, dude, I get so embarrassed thinking that existed in my country.
Happened. Like if you see a white
That's-
person,
When's the last time we brought that? I'm serious. I feel like that's been memory hold. I
Right.
think people need to remind people that was a thing that happened. Holy shit.
I
The
couldn't
same
believe it.
people driving around in their car alone with a mask
Yep.
were the ones with the fucking safety pin.
Yeah, if you're
And
not
then-
in that car with more than one person that's in a crew with you about to hold some place up, you shouldn't be wearing masks.
I remember that fucking mask thing. It just irritated me so much,
Yeah.
and I just quit going to the grocery store because I'm like, I'm not getting in an argument with these people. I don't want to do it. But I remember when you first did it, I didn't own any of those stupid masks, but I had some bandanas. So I literally had to go to the bank one day, and I'm tying a fucking bandana like I'm a bad guy in a cowboy movie.
Yeah.
And I walk in there and do a transaction. I'm like, how is this real life?
Yep.
In
When
any other context, you walk into a bank with a bandana up to here, they're pushing the little button underneath the
yeah,
counter.
they tell
know?
you no hats or sunglasses even
Right.
in a bank so they could see your face. But a month ago, this was against the rules and you're pushing a button under the counter. But today, I can come in here like I'm about to rob a fucking stagecoach.
Right.
Reach for
No,
the
today
sky.
you come in without a mask, they push the button under the counter.
What the
Like,
fuck?
that's reality.
I love the dudes with the mask alone in the minivan. Like,
Yeah.
thank you for telling me you're a complete pussy and I can never depend on you. Thank you.
You might as well roll the window down. You might as well roll your window down and go, I'm neutered, and just roll it right back up.
You know what the guy with the mask in the minivan is doing? He's driving around town looking for his balls. That's what he's doing.
He just got pegged. He's sitting on a donut because he got pegged.
Oh.
But
Whoa.
so I mean a glazed donut, like when you get in a donut shop. What do you guys think?
Oh my god.
Marvy Dog, he wore a balaclava to a baggatory trade. He said, do you guys know what a balaclava is? That's a ski mask. That's a good
Dude,
one.
it's fucking ridiculous.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was just.
I saw a guy. My wife and I were going on a hike, and it was a couple. The guy had a mask on, the woman did not, and they kissed each other. I'm like, what? Why would you kiss his mask like that? It was just, and it was outside. I'm like, come on, guys, this shit is out of control. And just how much better. Like you could almost see them with the wind making their cape flow in the breeze, like how much better they were than you because they wore two masks. Ugh.
Well, but yeah, but like when they kissed, did the person unzip the mask?
And I think one of his feet went up when they kissed. One of his legs.
Yeah, that's when it's a lifestyle choice, Jericho. When there's a zipper and it's made of leather, it's a lifestyle choice.
Well, that's a mask, yes, but a different mask. I think that we're
a different.
talking about here.
Right on. Love is love, Jericho.
Yeah, it is now.
Can you imagine? There was a moment there where someone could wear this into a bank. You can't now. Do not do it. Don't do it. Against the law, I think.
Oh my lord!
Don't do it.
Who knows?
But,
Who knows?
shit.
Yeah.
Goodness.
What a dark spot in our history. Anyway,
It is.
Just cringily, if I can make up a word, cringily embarrassing.
golly.
I'll tell you this. I'll leave it at this. That whole thing. We can't say the word here.
Thing.
YouTube, thank you.
The thing.
It was an IQ test, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm glad that many of my fans here, the chat, and my buddies, Jericho, said, I'm glad you guys passed because that was an IQ test.
A lot of people did.
yeah.
A lot of people did not.
No.
Ooh.
A lot of people
Okay.
did horribly. Right.
Captain Danko.
Right. So
Here we go.
we're all of 10 minutes into this movie. As usual. We do this every
For real.
time. We do this every time.
For real. 10 minutes.
Day that
in.
ends in Y.
Oh, boy.
No, I love
boy.
Brian Knapp here. Give me a bottle of anything and a glazed donut.
I'm more here for the donut, but yeah, give me something to drink too.
Yeah. Amen.
Oh boy.
But so anyway, they got him from the airport. They're like, oh, America, Russia, blah, blah, blah. And they're talking.
Yeah.
The partner in the back with the crazy eyebrows, he's cool. He seems to like Arnold. Jim Belushi's like, America, screw Russia. There's a little bit of tension there.
Yeah, do you guys ride on those little unicycles with the bears? Like all these Russian stereotypes.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
fuck. And this dude, he was a priest in Constantine. He's the guy who kept trying to crack the bottles and drink them of the alcohol, but nothing was coming out. That's that guy. I recognized that.
Yeah, he's a famous character actor. He was actually in another movie I love with Paul Newman late in his career called Nobody's Fool. And he plays his kind of slow-witted friend who works construction with him in this small, town in Bath, Maine. And he's also, God, what was the movie called? It was a movie that starred John Cusack about a guy with multiple personalities, and you don't know it in the movie, and it's like he's, all these people are getting killed, they all have the same birthday, and then you realize at the end it's this dude. He's the dude in that flick. And he's another one of these actors that I think people don't, I think people like us and probably a lot of people in the chat notice, but these are actors who have these long careers and make, serious contributions in all of these movies.
Yeah.
And it's great. That's why I love meeting people. I mean, to be honest, it was, and again, I'm trying to keep us from going too far into this movie apparently, but it was a real privilege to see, and to meet Todd, Cinefonte on this show and see like all the work and contributions these guys make. Man. It's incredible stuff.
Yeah. By the way, I talk to him all the time, Todd. We're actually friends. He loved it, and he would love to come back.
Oh, I'm so glad, man.
We won't say anything, but remember what I told you before the show.
I do remember.
Right? So I agree with Bane Mahler here. He looks like Vincent D'Onofrio right here, a little bit.
Private Pile.
Yeah, he looks a little bit like him.
A little bit, not tall enough.
Is your major malfunction?
Oh, dude, that movie.
We gotta do Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket is great.
That'll be a special 8-hour episode of
man. Oh man.
We could honestly one that long. It could be a two-parter, maybe. Maybe we would do two parts.
Yeah.
Because
we can definitely
the first half of the movie, that whole boot camp thing, anyway, and then you get to Vietnam later, and
just the first for that boot camp part is we have to do two because we can get 3 hours out of that.
Right. Mr. E has a line reading for you, Mr. Schwarzenegger. This was originally in the script, but they took it out. They thought it was too derivative.
Yeah. I remember this here. It says, I need your clothes, your boots, and never mind, your shirt is hideous. They were like, cut, Arnold. That's not the line. Sorry, I was improvising in the shirt. Look at it. It looks like shit over here.
Right. I mean, what would the Latina maid say if she saw you in that shirt?
She wouldn't say anything to me. She doesn't talk to me.
Why can't she talk?
No, she can talk. I just don't want to hear her. I'm in my room. I go upstairs to my room and I go, yeah.
I thought there was something going on with her mouth or something.
No. I just don't like to hear her speak to me. So she comes upstairs and when I go, yeah, in the hallway.
Did she speak Spanish? And do you understand it if she does?
I don't know. I told her first day when she came there, she tried to say something. I grabbed her lips and pinched them together. And I said, don't talk to me.
All right. Hey, rules are rules.
I don't know. I don't know what she sounds like. Well, I know what she sounds like. Yeah, but I don't know what she sounds like. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right.
I'm having to mute myself during Jericho's Arnold, man. I can't do it anymore. But yeah, the actor right there behind the clerk, someone's got it in the chat, is Pruitt Taylor Vince, and he was the movie I was talking about with John Cusack was called Identity. So if anybody saw that movie way back in the day, but he's a terrific actor, and he's still working today, man.
Also, Grosse Point Blank. Speaking of John
love
Cusack
Grosse Point
movies,
Blank.
That was a good one. Dan Aykroyd, Mimi Rogers, Minnie Driver,
Minnie Driver.
Yeah. That was a good
best speech on unions I've ever heard too. I loved that bit where he wants him to join the union. He's like,
dude, when he smashes that TV over his head, I was like, "What's this movie?"
Popcorn.
I love this movie.
So Arnold checks into what looks to be a disreputable hotel. Maybe they charge by the hour.
They were definitely don't bring a black light in there. It'll just make you sad.
Yeah.
But they offered to take him to a better hotel, but he chose this one because he knows this is where Victor's going to be. Right. And I don't remember how he got put on this trail here, but he knows that Victor's going to be here. And he looks, and this part comes back later. He looks in the registry of guests, and he sees Victor's name, and so he signs the registry and picks room 303. Remember that.
303 coming up. Yeah, so it's one of those no-tell motels, for lovebirds in the middle of the day.
No, tell me.
How many hours? Like you pay by the hour. How many hours did you and the maid? How many would you book it for?
I'd book it for at least 8 hours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm going to be in there for a long time. I take my time, a little foreplay. Maybe you bring in a feather or something like that, some strawberries.
Okay.
I used to make love to her.
Of all the fruit, make love to her. I like it. Of all the fruits, Arnold, what is the most erotic fruit?
Definitely a banana.
And not for the reason you think.
No, not for the potassium, because it's shaped like a dick.
See, I thought it was for the potassium, so you wouldn't get a cramp in your hip or something like that,
I don't care about the cramps. Cramps turn me on. But I put a banana in there and I grab another banana and put it in there.
So okay.
And I'm talking about on my body, not hers.
Okay, that is more than anyone ever wanted to know, Mr.
I put them everywhere. Gabe,
right.
you asked me, I'm going to tell you everything.
It's like a jungle in there. It's like Donkey Kong Country or something. So he comes to the station to meet the chief and meet everybody. It's the classic 80s, 90s action movie police station. You got the chief here.
And then the last scene, there's a prostitute standing behind him. Somebody's always arresting and booking a prostitute in the 80s. I don't know. I didn't know we had a prostitute epidemic, but there's always a prostitute in these police stations. And classic Peter Boyle. Like we were talking before we got on here. Didn't expect him to be the angry captain or chief or whatever he is. I didn't really see Peter Boyle in that role, but he does it. And that's his secretary that he orders around to do shit.
Right. So let's see here. Okay. So but the cops don't have Victor yet, right? They don't have him.
They do. They have him in custody because it was a traffic violation. He had expired tags or something.
That happened off camera. That threw me off.
Yeah, and they just tell him about it. Like, we picked him up, traffic violation, blah, blah, blah. And Victor Rustavila. And so he picked him up and explains to him, we didn't know who he was, but then we saw the tattoos, the Russian writing on his back, and we figured he was one of yours. So we have him. So you're thinking, it's early in the movie, so you're thinking he has Victor already. So what's going to happen for the rest of the movie? How's this going to go sideways? If he has the guy that he wants 15 minutes in, are they going to take it back to Russia and fight it out? Or, what's going to happen here? And of course, since he just teamed up with Belushi, this is where the rest of the movie is going to play out. But how are they going to do this, being that he's achieved his goal already?
Yeah.
Right. So now they're discussing how this is going to go. They're going to let Arnold go in there. Is he going to question him? Is he going to take him? Like, they're trying to work out the logistics of that. I don't remember the details of it. Again, I've only seen this one once last night. But he gets in there and they start talking, and it is death because Arnold's partner murdered by this guy. This guy's brother murdered by Arnold. So it looks to kill. They're trying to kill each other with their eyeballs.
Yeah. And they're eyeball fighting. And there's no kind words between them. He tells him, in Russian, tell me what I want to know, or tell me this and that. And he says, fuck you. Yeah. Tell me this. I'll fuck your mom. Like, there's no back and forth. These guys hate each other. If left to their druthers, they would stab each other to death in that room. And and again, they're constantly throughout the movie doing the whole, Russian way is better, and in America we're fucking blah blah blah, we just do whatever. In Russia, so there's this constant, my country's better than your country, and Russian police way is better than American police, and all this bullshit. And so he basically this is so stupid. So he's sitting there and he finds his key on him, and he asks Jim Belushi, what is this key to right here? And he says, well, it looks like it's a key to a locker. Like, quit being such an asshole. We're cops on a case. Help me out here. But he's like, looks like it's a key to a locker. And then he's telling, he's asking. And when he asks him, what is this key to? He's basically telling him, fuck you, in Russian. And so Jim Belushi chimes in, well, why don't you just tell you what it's to? Or why don't you just do this? Something obvious. And he goes, you try. And then he just stands there looking at him stupid. And he goes up to him. Of course, the typical, where does this key go? Like, speaking at a louder volume. He's like, fuck, you just had to say it loud enough. Now I speak English. Right. So where is this key go? And he tells him in Russian to kiss his mama's asshole or something like that. He tells him, fuck his mom. So when he tells him that, he loses it, and they got to hold it back. You motherfucker. I'm like, dude, what cop is gonna. I'm sure you hear worse than that
Right.
every day. That's 5 minutes into your shift every morning. Somebody
He
says
hears it
something
from his
about
wife
your
before he
mother.
leaves the house from work.
What about the Eddie Murphy method from The Golden Child? Do you know what I mean? Why don't you bring Tommy Tong out here? I'm gonna bust your ass. One of the all-time greatest fucking moments
They
ever.
couldn't do that. They couldn't do that
Ever.
now because you're an ableist. You're making fun of deaf people, and fucking they're gonna get offended, even though they can't hear you. But
We
that
can do
shit,
anything.
I do that
They
shit to my
can't
kids
do anything.
sometimes. I do that to my
That's right.
kids, all because of Eddie
Yeah.
Murphy. Clean up your room. Why are you doing that with your hand? Because you can't. Obviously, you don't understand what I'm saying. So maybe if I give you a visual aid, you'll understand. But
It works better when you call them Tommy Tong, though. I'm telling you.
Hey, and that's an underrated classic right there, Golden Child. We got to do an Eddie Murphy stretch too.
I've never seen The Golden Child, and I don't
Okay.
even know what it's about.
It's the dude, again, 80s. There must have been 25 actors that Hollywood was allowed to use during the 80s because everybody's in everything. You're going to recognize a shitload of people from that movie too. A lot of stuntmen in there. Egg Shen from Big Trouble in Little China's in there. But it's funny. It for some reason it flopped in the movies, but I watch that shit with my kids sometimes. It's hilarious. It's like
let me say this though real quick because this is really, really important. Okay. Breathtaking actress Charlotte Lewis in The Golden Child doing backflips in panties and a button-down shirt. Let me tell you something, folks. That's the dream. Right there in movies. Like, where the hell? Like, I remember being a young teenage kid going, that's something that I never thought I should dream about. Like, it was bang.
Dude, guys, that's a great topic. We should have a showdown. Greatest babe of the 80s movies we love, and then greatest babe of the 90s movies we love, and then those two fight it out in a tub of Jello for the death, to see who the hottest babe of the 80s, 90s.
I mean, what was that woman's name, Sean, from Golden Child?
Oh my God! Oh God!
Because she was like
Charlotte Lewis.
Yeah, Charlotte Lewis. She was Tia Carrera before Tia Carrera.
Oh my God! Yes,
and she just had that Asian-y, but she's like British with the British. I mean, yeah.
If I can share a poem I wrote when I saw her, it goes like this: Body talk. You make my body talk. You make my body talk when you're next to me.
You should put that to music, man. You should.
Exactly. I should. Yeah, that scene with the bikers, I was like going, man, I need to become a biker.
Dude. I mean,
kick my ass,
ladies
Charlotte.
of the '80s. Oh, my
come on,
goodness,
Charlotte.
Man.
I thought you were gonna say the poem you wrote was a one-word poem that was sproy.
Yeah, no, that was
Oh, Cynthia Rothrock.
Right.
Woo, man, you guys
she
are
could
down.
kick all the women's ass of the '80s.
Right.
But yeah, there's so many. We'd have to narrow it down to like 5 or 10 because there's just
Leah
still
Thompson.
Beautiful.
I see some good stuff in the chat there.
Oh, and when we get to her, if we get to her, because we have not gotten through this much of this movie, Gina Gershon, damn, in this movie, damn.
I mean,
I told you boys
1987,
before.
guys.
I told you guys before. I like a well-shaped schnoz on a woman.
Schnoz.
I do not mind a big nose on a woman. They can look sexy on a woman. So
brings new meaning to the word nose job.
Hey, it's a family show.
Hey, we start with a nose job and then you give me a blow. Never mind.
It's over.
Anyway, he gets mad at this dude for telling him to kiss his mom's butt or something gross.
Yeah,
they're gonna sort him out with Arnold. They're gonna take Victor Rostov, I forget, to the airport. They're going back to Moscow. They're going back to the land of communism and snow. And but damn it, the guards that are right there in the hallway are the clean heads and some Russians, and they ambush the whole thing.
And it was the classic. They cut to outside the building. There's an armored truck that pulls up. You know, all these guys. And you're like, hey, wait a minute, those guys don't look like armored truck drivers. And it turns out to be the clean heads, like you said, some of the Russians, and they come in to spring Victor from their custody. Yeah. And they do that, but they take some losses too because Arnold busts out that Luger Desert Eagle hybrid that shoots 357, 9.2 millimeter, and he starts laying those fools down. Yeah, look at that thing. I mean, if you run out of bullets, just grab the barrel and start beating people with it. That thing has to weigh like 3 pounds. And so excuse me, some of those fools, they get laid down, and then they take Victor and they hit Arnold over the head. He gets like 3 or 4 whacks with like a little baseball bat and takes him out. Not completely. He's still.
They kill Belushi's partner.
Yeah. And Belushi's partner gets killed. That plays in.
Man.
That gets Belushi into it.
This Russian guy gets shot but doesn't die. He goes down and almost dies.
Yeah, and Arnold, he gets hit, like I said, 3-4 times, and then he crawls over and like grabs that key, puts his hand on the key, and then loses consciousness once he's achieved his objective.
Well, and you got that great pairing thing though that happens in all these movies. When the movie started and I saw him with his partner, I'm like, I'm gonna lose his partner.
Yeah, you know it. And
when
same
you get
with
to this one, same thing.
Yeah. As soon as you meet Arnold's partner in the beginning, because they're so different. Arnold's this big, I'm a Russian police officer, and, this almost RoboCop kind of dude, and his buddy's like this normal guy, and like you really don't feel, you can feel it. Oh yeah, you're gonna get shot. And then same thing with, like you said, same with Belushi's partner, he gets shot because that's their motivation. Any great action movie, usually you took someone from me, you killed my wife, my kid, or my partner. That's usually it.
Right.
It's never the grandma, my mom, nothing like that. My wife, my kid, and my partner. So one of those people are going to get killed, and this one, it's both their partners. So that brings them together. Now it's not so much, I'm making fun of you and you're making fun of me. Now we got to, start working together. And of course, after Arnold gets bludgeoned first, this next scene, the little blonde guy, and he looks like one of those weird late 80s, early 90s bad guys. Which is, I don't know, he just has like that foreign look to him, like Die Hard. And Jim Belushi has a 357, very respectable firearm, and he's about to shoot, but they're weaving in and out of traffic. Damn it, can't get a shot. Of course, that classic scene. And this is where Arnold crawls over, all beat the shit, and puts his hand on the key and grabs the key and then passes out. And then next is the scene in the hospital. That's his partner, Belushi's partner, all fucked up. And then Arnold, he's laying in bed because he got beat down. But of course, you can hurt my skull. It's very thick and all this stuff. So he's not dead. And these Russian officials come in and start telling him, you fucked up. You lost him. You failed. And he sat there and took it. And I think that was another, cultural thing. An American would have said,
how squared away he is. He doesn't defy his superiors.
Yeah, no matter what, even if they're wrong. Yeah, even if they're wrong. He just sits there, he takes it, they leave the room, and they tell him, as soon as you get to Russia, your superiors want to talk to you. So now he's off the books. Now you don't have the country's blessing to be here and catch Victor. You got to get your ass home. So now it's almost like he has to go to Belushi with his tail between his legs. I've been talking all this Russian shit to you and how we do things and how we're better. And well, now I'm going to be breaking the rules because I'm not supposed to be doing this shit. But I'm so driven, I must get Victor that it don't matter. I'm getting him. And then he's loading, he's racking around in his hand cannon, the Desert Eagle Luger Love Child, the 9.2 millimeter. And he goes, where'd you get that gun? He's, how'd you get that gun? Through customs. Jim Belushi, he's a diplomatic community. And he,
that's what he said. A problem on this show, dude. Why is diplomatic immunity?
Diplomatic community. It's just been revoked.
So again, for people joining us late, Jericho, as many people don't know, is a South African, a white South African, raised in New Jersey, who spent several years in Austria while he was. We're trying to track Jericho down at this point. Can't be done.
Guys,
can't be done.
I bounced around a lot. Even spent a little time in Scotland. You're in a lot of danger.
Of course.
A lot of danger.
Yeah, enough of this running shit.
Junior. Yeah, man. So, I've been around the world, and I'm very international.
So even though Arnold got beat up and one partner died and the other Russian mobster guy, he's in critical condition, Arnold's F it. He's in trouble now, and he's got to solve this thing himself.
Yeah.
So he doesn't get busted when he goes home.
He's
So
not in his
up,
uniform
and he's telling
anymore.
Belushi, we're going.
He's not in his uniform anymore. And Jim Belushi tells him, "You look like Gumby," and he does. That big ass green suit and the way his hair is. He calls him Gumby for the rest of the movie. And where the fuck? So those guys came to bitch him out in the hospital and brought him a suit because he was wearing his uniform when he went to the hospital.
We go to JCPenney this morning to get your suit.
Get me something off the rack.
We got you something big and tall section of store. Green is the only color they have in your wheat.
We stopped by Russian big and tall. We get you suit for Easter. It's all we have. You wear, yes?
In Russia, it's tall and big, not big and tall.
I we wear. So they're on the hunt for old Victor because now you've killed Belushi's partner and you've shamed Captain Denko. You brought shame upon him, and he had to sit there and bite his tongue while he got bitched out by those bureaucrats. So now he's extra pissed. And fucking Larry Fishburne, I hated his character. Just a sniveling, the sniveling little, like the teacher's pet. That's what he is through the whole damn movie. The whole time he's bitching about, we can't do this in budget and the law and the rules. Like, shut the fuck up, man. Haven't you ever been in an action movie before?
It's that second in command guy who's just a sniveling ass kisser.
Yeah.
It's Starscream from Transformers. You remember that? He was just a bitch made.
Yeah. Just a little fucking yes, boss. Yes, boss.
Right.
Oh, I can't stand that.
Did you hand in your TPS reports?
Right.
Yeah, he looks like
you know who Larry Fishburne is here? He's that fucking kid in 7th grade. It is Friday. It's like 2:00. The bell's gonna ring in 15 minutes. He's like,
don't you say it.
Do we have any homework this weekend? Like,
yes.
And everyone's looking at it like, what
you
are you doing?
motherfucker. When you get outside, kick your ass.
Right.
Oh, that's right. We do have homework weekend. Fuck. I remember that little bastard. Yeah, the little
Snarf from Thundercats.
Snarf. Yeah, that little sniveling fucking cousin of yours that makes you want to beat him and then run behind your mom. What are you doing? Leave him alone. Oh, shit.
Or it's like you get off the bus, you start walking home, and someone in the bus is flipping you off as the bus drives away.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to see you Monday.
Yeah.
That
was Larry Fishburne in this whole movie. That was him. So now it's the captain is telling him, hey, you got to do this by the books and, don't make a mess and you're not in Russia anymore and all this shit. Because they always do that. They always tell him, we know you have a history of wrecking the city and arresting people with police brutality and not going by the book and all this shit. We know this.
Rip off cocaine legs.
You break the rules. You batter witnesses.
You can't rip a leg off in the Windy City.
But we're going to give you one more chance to get it right. You got 20. It's usually 24 to 48 hours to get it right. So this is what they're getting. They're getting the blessing from the angry captain.
I need a car and a sawed-off shotgun.
I need a fucking car and a shotgun. All right there, so I can go get fucking Richie. So he's basically giving them the unmarked and a shotgun.
Can you imagine alternate universe Arnold Schwarzenegger stars in Out for Justice? How would he have if anybody knows why Richie killed Bobby?
But wait a minute. No, let me ask you this. Is everybody else still Italian?
Yes.
No.
Oh.
No. See, it's the thing. No. Well, almost everybody else, except for when they go into the Italian bar, and they're like, "Where's Richie Lupo?" Instead of calling for Sticks, they'll go Sven, and Sven Ole Thorsen comes out with like a barbarian hammer, and it's like, what the fuck is this?
If everybody else remains Italian, then that means Arnold is going to have to say Italian names.
That would be genius.
And that's going to add another layer of fun to this.
My gosh, Arnold as Casey Ryback. He has 50 gallons of bouillabaisse to make.
Captain, I know it's your birthday tomorrow, and you have to do the cheeseburger, but I have 50 gallons of bouillabaisse down there.
Think of what could have been.
Oh, yeah, if you could move action stars around.
Oh
man,
guys,
that would be
we have the technology, all right, with deep voice and deep fake. It will happen, okay? Someone is going to redo action movies like that, Shoot, man, originally, and my brain melts when I try to consider this. Stallone, like Beverly Hills Cop was a vehicle for Stallone.
It was for Stallone. Yeah.
That, I don't even understand that, because I can't imagine that movie without, like, it's funny. Those movies are so iconic. Sometimes I picture Eddie Murphy in the first movie wearing the Lion's jacket that he doesn't wear till the second movie.
Yeah.
You know that famous jacket?
Yeah, the Letterman.
I mean, hell, man.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Or imagine who would, like, if somebody, like, what if Bruce Willis played Rambo or something?
Yeah, or
Arnold did
Stallone
Rambo?
or somebody played Bruce Willis in Die Hard. I mean, it's just not the same thing, man.
It would, man.
There you go.
Oh my
Stallone.
God,
Yeah.
no.
Stallone.
That's from Last Action Hero. The picture on the left, that's from Last Action Hero.
I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
That's right.
It just wouldn't be the same because nobody had the size and the accent. That just made him seem more foreign, more.
Hasta la vista, baby.
It sounds like, yeah. Can we charge up the batteries in that
like,
Terminator?
Sylvester, can you say that a little faster, please? Because that was way too.
Hasta la vista, baby.
No, I said faster.
I thought
Sammy?
you meant less retarded.
More
Sammy
retarded if you
got it.
have to.
I'm on the run. The cop's got my gun. I'm roundabout now. It's time to have
man.
some fun. The king
And
had
does
roundabout.
does the chief take his gun here? Does the chief take his gun, or is that later? I don't remember.
No, the chief took his gun because that's when Belushi gives him the 44.
He gives it to him later.
The biggest or the largest handgun or some shit in the world.
Yeah.
That's not through the the Russian blah 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 is the big world's biggest motherfucker. You're in America. This is the biggest handgun the world has. All right, it's Dirty Harry.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? So he basically tells him that he's like, "What the fuck do you mean? This is a Dirty Harry gun." Who's Dirty Harry? Oh boy. So now they're off the leash, and this guy,
this
fucking guy. God,
I remember him. I believe isn't he in Blade Runner?
Blade Runner,
right?
Tango and Cash,
right?
With an Australian accent, and he's not Australian, so that
he's in
was
Fifth
horrible.
Element.
Yeah, Fifth Element. He's one of the officers in Fifth Element, one of the good guys.
Yep.
Is he an Action Jackson or am I?
No, I don't think he was an Action Jackson.
So.
No,
he's in a lot of stuff. He's another guy in a million 80s.
Yeah.
And fantastic. Always delivers. Always great. What a see. Remember when we had this conversation previously about how there's not faces in movies anymore? Right. You know, like I don't know, Judge Reinhold in for the first Beverly Hills Cop was trying to break out of what he was his cast as. You know what I mean? Like he was kind of being this younger
John
action
Hughes
guy.
shit.
But who was the name of the actor who played Taggart?
Oh, it was John
Sergeant
something.
Taggart. Yeah, John. What the hell
John
is his name,
something. Sergeant Taggart.
Let me see. It's John Ashton. There you go. John Ashton.
Yeah.
So John Ashton is another one of those great faces. You know what I mean? Like if you looked at Eddie Murphy, John Ashton, and Judge Reinhold in a lineup, they work together. Oh, and then you've got what's his name? The guy who was Bogomil. He was incredible in that, man.
Oh yeah.
He's
been in a bunch of shit too. He's in RoboCop.
Yeah,
he was
in
Dick
RoboCop.
Jones. I work for Dick Jones.
Yeah, Ronnie Cox. Yeah, Ronnie Cox.
Man.
You had Bronson Pinchot in that. You had Paul Reiser in that. I mean, you had
Balky
so many...
Bartokomous.
Yes. You had Jonathan Banks, for God's sake, man.
Dude.
Breaking Bad into Better Call Saul, man. It's like,
and look, this guy right here, perfect example. This came out in 87. Tango and Cash came out in 88. And what was it? Fifth Element was like, 95? And God knows what he had in between there. I mean, these guys were just working. These guys were every time they turn around, they had to be handed a script or something, or you're off to this set. These dudes were doing year after year, man. This dude's another one. Perfect.
Genius.
Holy shit, man.
So they're interrogating this guy for information about the clean heads, right? That's what they're getting to him about.
Yeah, they got a shipment coming in. Another classic action movie trope. There's a shipment coming in.
Right.
Could be drugs, could be guns. It's a shipment.
I like there's a little bit of, I don't know, stupidity or whatever on Belushi's part here. He's telling Arnold about, Miranda rights, buy the book, and we're not going to rough this guy up. And then he tells the informant guy here, this scummy looking guy, again, great casting here. Hey, times are tough. You need money. He sticks some money in his front pocket. Like, I'm going to pay you to tell me what I want to know. And 2 seconds later, he pulls it out and there's a little baggie of heroin. He's all, oh, what's this? It's real. It's like such a dirty move that he did.
Yeah,
And
the guy's like, I'm gonna tell my lawyer, I'm gonna have your job, you fucking prick, you planting drugs on me. And then Arnold's like, that's it. And he gets up and grabs the guy and slams him against the wall. You're gonna tell me what's happening, where's the shipments coming in and all that there. And so he has his hand like twisted,
too, right?
Yeah, his hand twisted up behind his back and he's bending his finger. He's like, shit, okay. So that's all it took. Just twist his finger.
Dude,
and this
Arnold does Arnold belong anywhere though? Every time I see Arnold, I'm waiting for him to rip the guy's arm off and beat him to death with it. I mean, it's ridiculous how big he is in this shit, man.
Dude, he fucking breaks the guy's finger, and the guy, it's coming in, blah blah blah, and he tells him that the clean heads are those bald black dudes. It's run out of prison, and this guy is the leader. Another fucking character actor. This guy was in 48 Hours. He was working with the bad guys, and he got blown up at the racetrack.
Another long career too.
Yeah, this dude's another guy. Always on the docks. Wherever you are.
Brent Jennings, right?
This guy's name, I don't know.
Oh yeah, so he's been working. He was I think if it's Brent Jennings, he was in the line of in the line of duties. He's in 48 Hours. Yeah, he's in 48 Hours. Yeah, so in the line of duty, 48 Hours, and he's sort of like God, what has he been in lately that I know? Hold on, let me look this guy up. He was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. What the hell?
Talk about range.
I know that.
I was
he's had a long career.
And Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
No.
Yeah, dude. So it's like Brubaker, Alone in the Dark. These are all of his films. But Moneyball as Ron Washington.
Wow.
Like this guy has been in tons of stuff. You just wouldn't recognize him. But he's just been in a ton of flicks. Witness.
Yeah, you wonder he's actually a white guy. No, just kidding.
Yeah, he is.
This guy gets deep in his role.
He played the guy in Lethal Weapon 2 who says diplomatic immunity. A lot of people don't know that.
Diplomatic
cast against type.
I remember when we reviewed that movie, Jericho, I barely knew you at the time, and you just called me, or you left me like a voice message on Instagram or somewhere, and it was just you going, diplomatic immunity.
That's all that needed to be said.
I like this guy.
That's all that needed to be said.
In case anybody's wondering how serious we are normally.
Right.
Very.
But, we spoke about this when we first got going. We all know what happened with Bill Dukes and Predator, Arnold.
Yep.
Yeah.
When he lost all the baby oil. That was a terrible accident. He tried to, and your father brought that baby oil from Austria special just for you.
Shaving that
oil. And he tried to make it up to here because you guys needed baby oil for all these prisoners that are lifting all these heavy weights. He brought some in. It wasn't a great brand and all that. How did you feel about that when he brought it in? Did it work? Did it make up for things or no?
I mean, it's the thought that counts. His heart was in the right place there.
Right.
But it's like in the movies where they're selling drugs or something. Somebody always takes a pocket knife and they cut the drugs open and they sample it. They do a little bit of coke in their nostrils. So I did that with the baby oil. I put a little on my fingers and I was like feeling it. It's all right. I'm not going to use it, but the extras in the movie, you guys can. It's good enough for you. But I know good baby oil when I feel it because you were talking like this. My father. Right. He made baby oil back in Austria, so I know.
Right. So, do you ever think there could be a day where he could finally make things right? I know he tried here, but I don't think it's good enough. I agree with you.
I don't think so. I think it's too much time has passed. Too much time has gone by. Bill, he went his way there, and I went my way here. I don't think we can ever get together and repair. We can't repair.
I was just about to say my favorite part of your invitation is when you say over here and over there. I don't know why that cracks me up.
Well, you know what though? We're friends of Bill Dukes around here. We do wish him well, and I wish the whole thing didn't happen, man. It was a real tragedy with the baby oil. I didn't know people could move that fast. That was crazy when that happened. So sorry, Bill. Sorry, Bill.
Anyway,
the cops are here with the leader of the clean heads. Everyone is baby oiled up. Everyone is listening.
Smell it. Everybody smelled like on that set.
Oh
God!
Hot baby oil everywhere.
Hot baby oil, BO, and prison cafeteria food.
Yes.
So I would say
it smelled like baby oil and asshole in there.
But yeah,
dude, from the opening of the movie to here, how far have we really come smell wise? I mean, it's just a mess.
It is.
Oh man.
Right. So they're here at the prison, and I'm almost certain they don't allow prisoners to lift weights anymore. I think
Not
they took all
anymore.
the weights.
Yeah,
at
because
least
people
out
kept
of
getting
California prison.
people kept getting their heads bashed in with weights. So they took those away. No longer allowed to use free weights.
It's funny you mentioned that. When I was in high school, the football coach, our head coach, he would show us like a lot of psychologically motivating things. And one day he showed us an interview with a prisoner who was talking about making good choices and how he was a young guy and effed up and he ended up in prison. And I remember him talking about getting in a prison fight, and he took a 45-pound plate, I guess to defend himself, and hit another dude in the head. And he said it ripped the guy's skull open, brains went everywhere.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they allow that stuff in the prison anymore. I'll show you something real quick.
That's what happens when you introduce a 45-pound weight to someone's skull. It's not going to end well for the skull.
Champ Bernard Hopkins had one of my favorite quotes when he was talking about prison and his time in prison before he came out and just, again, became a legend in the fight game. Oh, look at that, man. That's serious.
Imagine this. This is iron. This is one of my 45-pound plates. Someone getting bashed in the head.
It's over. It takes 8.5 pounds of pressure to crack the human skull.
Right.
Well, dude,
not much.
I will tell you, this is the thing. The most, it wasn't so much painful as it absolutely stunned me injury I think I've had in a while, was we had this ironing board rack that hung on a door, and it had a place for the iron in it. And I bumped it with my head, and the iron fell point down and hit me on the top of the head.
There you go.
I've split my head open a bunch of times. Here's the crazy thing.
A whole bunch of times.
I have, man.
10, 12
times. It didn't split my head open, but it made one of those sounds probably like the punch you heard at the start of this film, right? And I just wobbled, and I just sat down, and I went, fuck. Like, that was some shit, man. Holy shit.
A friend of mine, he did 14 years in prison. And before, probably one of the instances that made them take the weights away, some guy was doing a bench press, and he had crossed his people the wrong way. And while he's doing his bench press, somebody took a weight and just hit him in his head and peeled off the top of his head. So yeah, man, that's why
I think that's
prisoners aren't allowed.
I think that's the story we watched when I was in high school. The coach played. He talked about getting in a fight with someone during weightlift time and bashed him in the head with the plate.
No, this guy, he had done something. He had either said something or he had a debt or something like that. And they waited for him to get on the bench press, so he couldn't defend himself. And then they just
so there are multiple people getting their heads taken off with 45 pounds.
Yeah, I'm sure it just happened. I'm sure there was a rash of beheadings with these.
Sometimes somebody comes up with a good idea and it takes off.
Like wildfire.
Yeah, it's like the razor
hit him in the head with the weight. Oh shit!
Yeah,
instead of lifting weights for a year to get really strong to kill him, just hit him with the weight.
Just hit him with the weight.
Yeah, like rollerblades or jogging.
Blown.
It's like
mind blown.
Yeah.
So he shows up. They show up to the prison to talk to this dude to get to Victor, and the guy the prison guard tells him, "Hey, I can basically walk you to here." Said, "You're on your own, buddy." And the guard in that movie, another character actor from the 80s. He was the bus driver in 48 Hours. Right. When the guys on the bikes, hijacked or carjacked or basically made the bus crash so they could kill Eddie Murphy's character. And that guy was the bus driver. And so he walks him and says, "Hey, man, you're on your own from here." So he goes over there to where all these black dudes are at, and that's their leader. "Hey, where do we go? Here? Over there?" So we go, and look at Arnold. Look at this, just a fucking
Gumby.
Right?
That's him, just a big old massive dude.
Yeah, and that hair. Arnold usually has like some sort of buzz cut or something, but in this one, in some of the shots, he's got some height going.
That's why he calls him Gumby.
Right,
because Gumby, that's what Gumby's head was like. That big old, I don't know what the hell cowlick, wherever you call that shit. But yeah, he's just a big oaf. And so they go over there, and he's talking to the guy. They're like walking and talking. And I noticed they keep stopping. They would walk a few feet, stop and talk, and then start walking again and stop to each other and talk. It was weird. But he's talking to him, trying to find out where Victor is, and he's saying, well, if you want to find Victor, you got the key, so you have Victor because you got his money. That's what that key is, to a locker with the money in it. So as long as you have that key, basically you have the upper hand, because that's what Victor needs to give it to me so he can get his shit. So this guy is like, basically, I just want the money. I don't give a fuck if you give it to me or Victor gives it to me. But as long as you have that key, you got him. And then I can't remember what he said to him. I think he was threatening him. He says, well, I'll do this to you. I don't give a fuck. Well, I'll do this to you. And then he takes his glasses and pulls them up, and you could see he's like, fucking, he's like, I'm already blind. Like, I've already had my eyesight taken. I've been stabbed and shit. I remember that part as a kid scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
When I saw it last night, I'd never seen this before. When I saw it last night, I was like, ooh, that would have been so gross to me. It's like an 8
it was
or whatever.
Scared the hell out of me as a little kid. And so,
and then as a little kid, you would worry about it somehow happening to you too. Oh my God. You just a hilarious memory. So I have I'm 44. I have 2 cousins that are older than me that I was close to growing up, Tim and John. A lot of boys in my family. All the cousins are boys. And Tim is 6 years older than me. He was like 14 and I was like 8. My brother's a year older than me. My cousin John is 2 years older. So, you got like the 14-year-old watching the guys that are 8, 9, and 10 years old. No one's home. We're at Aunt Martha's house. This is that house where I saw all those movies I was never supposed to see, like Alien and all that.
That's where you see them.
We're messing around. We're playing. We're doing different things. And Johnny, the 10-year-old younger cousin brother, shoots Windex at Tim, the 14-year-old, and hits him in the face. But nothing really happened. And Tim pretends to be blind. He's running around the house, touching walls, telling us he can't see anything. He's petting the dog. Is this Rocket or whatever? And like, he'll never see you again. And we're all crying and like, oh no. And I'm like staying cool. I'm trying to stay cool. And Johnny, his little brother, just sobbing and sobbing. And I tell him, why are you crying so much? And he's like, you'd cry too if you made your brother blind. And Tim kept it going for like almost an hour. And then he got tired of it. And then he told us he could see. So.
Nicely done. I like it.
Yeah, but this just reminded me of Tim pranking all of us. So, yeah.
The best.
Oh.
Yeah,
Tammy
is Mr.
baby
White
oil
Eyes.
enthusiast. She would sunbathe in baby oil back in the 80s.
Dang.
Oh, and yeah, Mr. E reminds us all, don't get the sky nuts in your eyes. It says so.
Well, that's what happens. If you get the director's cut, that he admits that this is a Skynet accident.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Skynet.
You're supposed to, it says right on it, point away from face. So
yeah.
You can read the bottom, first line, don't get Skynet in there.
Right. When people get caught up, they get too excited, they forget the instructions.
They do.
So yeah, you gotta be careful.
Skynet everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. So okay, so they got some info from the prison, but not nearly enough.
No.
They're leaving, having more of their USA versus Russia conversation. Sorry, I have a lot of files open, so this thing was chugging on me. And then they go to does the prison guy tell him to go meet this lady, right?
Yeah, that's his girl.
And it is one Gina Gershon.
Sure is.
Looking like a whole
Young.
bunch of all right.
Young.
Damn.
Yeah, man. Great scene. All sweaty and whatnot.
I guess she's a dance teacher. They want to ask her, why did you help Victor do X, Y, and Z? And she helped him, I think, move stuff around or do some things. I don't know what she helped him do, but it was helping him with
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same thing we would want her to help with.
Help me.
Girl, I need some help. No, not up here. We need to do no.
And, come to find out she's Victor Rostov's wife.
Yeah, they're like, why would you help him? Because he's my husband. Dun,
Right.
dun, dun.
Right.
You're married to him, slut.
Right, but she won't tell them what they need to know. So,
she won't give him up. She won't give him up.
That's a good woman. You stand by your man. Yeah, so they head outside. They're like, "Ugh, we don't know what the hell we're going to do here." But Arnold's going to stick around and keep an eye on her because he thinks she's going to take off and maybe go tell Victor that these guys are hot on this trail.
Don't trust her.
Jim Belushi, meanwhile, is what? He's going to go get a hot dog or something. He's up to something, something like that. I'm not sure. But sorry about that. This is, why is this chugging on me? Get my images here. Oh, but he writes down the info off the key. That's right.
That's the number. And then he ends up looking it up I didn't know you could find what keys went to. I didn't know you could look up the key number.
Yeah, that's
Phone book.
But he does, and he finds out that it's to the locker.
Right. And I love this moment when Arnold is sitting in the car, like staking her out in the dance studio building she was in, waiting for her to leave so he could tail her. This bum comes up and he's like, "Hey, this is my parking spot. If you don't move or give me $50 right now, I'm gonna beat the shit out of your car."
Yeah, he has a bat in his hand.
Right. And Arnold just gives him like a right hook across both seats.
Fucking yeah, he goes like, "I can't hear you," and the guy leans in, he just fucking boom, blasts his full and knocks him the fuck out in the street.
Right.
Belushi comes up and is like, "What happened to that guy?" That shit was so funny.
And he just leaves him on the sidewalk like a piece of trash.
Yeah, it was Chicago.
Right.
We're gonna clean him up. Yeah, he knocks him out, leaves his ass on the sidewalk. Hilarious.
Right. So she gets in a cab, and another like action movie trope, like, I mean, this goes back decades in movies. Follow that car, so that they're following the taxi, they get to a parking garage. One thing I love about the clean head gangsters, when you think of rough gangsters, running guns, cocaine, all the stuff, what you don't think of is a Plymouth Voyager minivan.
You don't?
You don't.
But these guys rule the streets of Chicago with an iron fist of terror from their sensible V6 Plymouth, or a Ford Windstar, whatever the hell this thing is.
Oh, that was definitely a Plymouth Voyager.
It's the least gangster car I've ever. Roller skates are more gangster than this van.
Yeah, but when they pull up and you hear that sliding door, you know it's trouble. You know it's fucking trouble. Yeah, man. Even when I was a kid, I was like, that doesn't seem right. Rough and tough dudes, minivan. But hey, they made it work. What are you gonna do?
Sean's dropped out, but I'm sure he'll be back soon. Maybe he lost connection or something. And so there's gonna be a talk between I think he's back.
Nice shot too.
Right.
Yeah.
What happened?
Sorry,
Nice
guys. I was trying to find. It's crazy how this happens. I was trying to find this image because we were talking about movie casting and what might have been and that whole kind of thing. And I found this and I was thinking, oh my God, I don't know who has seen this one, but and another one of those what might have been.
Oh.
See what I'm saying? I mean, it's like
I thought that
I can see it.
I thought Gumby was playing that part.
All right. I'm
Go,
going.
go back to Gina. We can go back to Gina. It's not important now. It's over.
No. This was the original script. I'm so glad you found this, dude. They cut this.
Yeah.
They filmed most of this movie with Gumby, and then Gumby's people were like, "We don't like this direction for him. It's too violent. There's nudity. That's not really on brand." And then Pokey had to step in, and Pokey's like, "Gumby, you can't do this." Gumby had gotten caught up, cocaine, fame.
Look at his nose. I'm serious.
Yeah,
he was on coke.
Look at what's left of his nose.
It went sideways in that scene with the coke in the leg. That's when Gumby really. They were like, "All right, recast."
If I've ever seen pantaloons filled with coke, those are them.
Yeah.
Right.
So they were like, "Gumby, we can't seem to get past this scene. You got to go." They'd filmed. I think they'd filmed like 75% of this film, and then they had to do it over with Arnold. But poor Gumby, he was never the same.
Yeah, Eric Stoltz called him and was like, "Same shit happened to me on Back to the Future."
Right.
I mean, it was rough, man. And then they just did a bunch of blow together.
Right.
I mean, that's what I heard.
Right, and then this is right when Gumby was having that divorce with Betty Boop. It was just the worst time.
It was
Absolutely
messy.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
It was very messy. He wasn't his head wasn't in it.
I read his autobiography called Feet of Clay, and he really goes deep.
It was a really good read.
Yeah, the divorce with Betty Boop and how he ruined it.
God.
Well, they had the half black and white, half Gumby kids. It was
right.
Yeah,
that kid was never accepted by anyone.
He wasn't black and white enough for his mom's side, and he wasn't Gumby enough.
Green enough for the Clay side.
Yeah. No, I hear that.
And I'm cast in the Play-Doh community.
Yeah, man.
Right, Gumby. He's 104, and him and Pokey have a vineyard in Napa. I didn't know that. So,
So are they dating now? Or are they like?
I think they're both confirmed bachelors. Him and
Okay.
Pokey. I mean, with a name like Pokey, come on.
Like, hey, hand me that Zinfandel. Let's get some of that Grigio. That's right.
Yeah. I mean, Bane Muller says it best. Gumby was hard to manage.
He was.
Yeah.
Gumby's people are infamous.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to. He's
Whoa,
blackballed.
whoa! What do you mean his people?
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm sick and tired of these green. No, I'm just kidding. Not my
People
daughter.
of Play-Doh, Jericho. People of Play-Doh.
They're people of colored Play-Doh. How dare you?
Not my daughter.
Yes.
The Play-Doh. What would you do if your daughter brought home a clay American? You know?
See, dude, it just makes it too real. It's too real.
I saw this fucking video, man, and this white girl, this young white girl, she comes home and she brings her black boyfriend to meet him. And he's coming through the door, and the dad's like, and the girl's like, Dad, this is. Dad goes, no, I got it. And he starts taking money out of his wallet and hands it to the black dude, like he brought her bags up or some shit. It was so.
Oh dear God,
shit,
dude, I didn't even catch.
He was like, no, I got it, and he takes some money. And it was like, no, I'm here because
no.
Yeah, good stuff. Man.
Did Gumby lead us down this road? I'm just
did.
saying. Okay.
Yeah, well, you know, the thing, this was supposed to be Gumby's big comeback because he had done 8 years. Remember, he killed the blockheads. They said it was an accident.
That's true.
A lot of people said, I don't know.
Plea bargain. He plea bargained.
Yeah, they always had beef, you know. But I thought Johnny Cochran's defense of Gumby was amazing, you know.
That's true.
So,
yeah, he had that famous line: "If it don't mold, you can't hold."
That's right.
Because it's clay. So he was like, you can't mold it, you can't hold it.
I feel sorry for the blockheads.
Let him go.
I feel like, it was a really poor taste, for everyone to be making all those jokes after they were killed in an accident by allegedly.
That's right.
You know how people are. People are very cruel.
Right. Yeah.
Very cruel.
I don't know. Our clay Americans have come a long way.
We're never finishing this movie. It's over.
Yeah, they have the National Association for the Advancement of Clay People. That was a big move. That was a big move.
Look
that was
it
a
up.
step in the right direction.
Gumby absorbed his enemies to hide the evidence.
They had those.
Wait, here's Gumby's line when he killed the blockheads by throwing them into that kiln. He said, "It's kiln time."
It's killing time.
Oh my God!
And he also Gumby went. He was one of the first. He was in the first graduating class of the country's first HPCU, historically or HCPU, historically Clay People University. So he made a lot of strides for.
Yes, he did.
People.
It's hard in those fucking pants, man.
People, Clay Americans, whatever you want to call them. I call him.
He was a complicated.
Hey, what I call him.
So.
Oh my God!
A complicated man. His wine isn't worth a shit, though. I tried it, not good. So
it is. It has like big clumps of clay in it that sink to the bottom. It's disgusting.
Tastes like plasticine. It's crap.
Ain't moving. It ain't coming to my public pool.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, well, clay people can't swim, Jericho. You do know that.
They
right?
can't. They sink to the bottom.
I'm just picturing him in that opening scene dissolving in that hot soup. Just, like an whole thing turns green.
Hey, get out of my neighborhood, you clicker.
He would just melt in the hot tub.
I just see this oily green mass just dissolving in it like it's T2.
You dadgum filthy clickers. That's when you take the word clay and mix it with, well,
All right.
Dude, we need to do a Gumby as the T1000. Okay, someone needs to make that happen.
I told my daughter, you ain't part of my dadgum family because you ain't nothing but a clicker lover.
I don't know. I think, ultimately, I think that's what helped destroy Gumby's career was the self-hatred. He really, I think.
And they never finished the movie again.
Self-hate.
Right?
Oh, God.
Oh, man,
anyway.
You hate your own people, Gumby. You're a clown.
Right.
Not even Gina Gershon can save us. What's wrong?
Not even a beautiful Gina Gershon could save this
Let me say this, too, is that I remember when my wife saw this movie, she goes, "Oh, Gina Gershon's in this." And she goes, "Do you think she's going to be completely naked in this?" And I said, "It really depends on where she is in her career at this point." And and then her character was well, we'll get to it. And she goes, "Well, there's no chance now." And I said, Give it a minute.
They haven't taken the body away yet. Hold on.
They haven't taken the body away. So here you go.
This is the 80s.
Yeah, it's
The
all
lovely
that
Gina Gershon.
Right. So the clean heads demand the weapons from Arnold and Jim Belushi, and so he can go talk to Victor. And it's
somehow
intense.
a smoky car garage. I don't know how they pulled that off.
Right.
But yes, a smoky underground car garage. And one of the clean heads has a pistol to the side of Officer, what is his name? Klitzik, something, Itzik or something like that?
Ritzik or something
Ritzik,
like that.
yeah, that's what it is. Some shit like that.
Yeah.
Detective Ritzik. And even under these situations, Arnold still stone-faced robot Gumby.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So he meets Victor in a far-off place in the garage away from everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they I forget exactly how they discuss things here. I don't remember exactly what happens. What do they get to about the key and what the plot is here? I don't even remember their argument down here.
I don't remember it either for some reason.
I don't know. Not memorable, I guess. But it doesn't really advance things. They still don't know exactly what's going on here. And oh my goodness. When do we get into the hospital part? Is that coming right up next? I don't remember.
Oh, with the Ku Klux Trans member. That is
Right.
coming up pretty soon.
Right.
Gina Gershon.
Okay, yeah. So he has this unproductive meeting in the garage. I don't remember. It was about the key and getting him his stuff and his money and his drugs and whatever. And we're heading back to the hospital for some reason because they're gonna talk. Oh, they're gonna talk to the guy at the hospital that got shot. That was the Russian guy.
Yeah, he
That's right.
survived. He
Right.
came out of his coma or whatever, and he survived. And now we're going to go talk to him, but they can't help.
He survived for a minute.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
he was looking good. He was making a speedy recovery, and then his lead intake or whatever he did to him went up a little too high. I think, what did he give him, the injection? It's ma'am.
Right.
No, dude,
Yeah,
you ain't kidding. Let's check tape. Go to the tape. It totally is. It's ma'am.
Yes.
There was
Without a doubt.
nurse. A nurse comes in and injects, I think, air into his
and it was
tube to give
I'll
him
get it down.
an embolism and kill him. So he dies, the Russian guy. And they're right moments, like literally moments.
Just missed it.
Only these kind of movies can have the two moments just passing each other like that.
But they
He's
couldn't
out
get
there to investigate, and he's dead now. This guy.
But they couldn't get a woman to like wear a nurse's outfit and go into the hospital.
No, he wouldn't let her. He kept wrestling her out of the dress, and finally they're like, "Look, man, Steve is wearing that thing, whether we like it or not." Okay.
He's already tucked his
He's
ball.
like, "I was born to play this part."
He's already tucked.
Right.
He's in there.
Right.
Yeah,
So
stupid.
Gina has a conversation with Jim Belushi in the hallway to let that person go.
Yeah.
But
She gets in front of him. He's about to blast that fool. No, let him go. Let him go. That would have been so great if he just shot her ass too.
Yeah, well,
he could get
would have
shot at
changed
that
her
guy.
fortunes.
But he got shot
He's
so
so
hard
funny.
his wig came off. Look at that.
Yeah. Well, look at that gun.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. He's
Oh,
looking at
God.
blow his damn clothes off.
Oh.
Yeah.
This was
Fortunately,
the
no
moment.
dick. We don't see any dick in here. But yeah, he shoots his ass so much that he almost flips over backwards. And that poor nurse Ratchet, she didn't make it. Or he
By the
didn't.
way-
They didn't make it.
The genre, for this flick on YouTube was comedy. And this was about the moment where my wife goes, "So wait, so this is a comedy?" I said, yes. There was a lot of bullet holes in people in comedies
There's a high
back in
body
the
counts in
80s.
comedies, of course.
Damn.
I don't know how this was categorized as a comedy. But maybe Jim Belushi's parts, maybe. But yeah,
maybe.
this Russian dude gets fucked up, and then what's her name? Gina Gershon. She takes off.
Yeah.
Right. She takes off. She doesn't want to be anywhere near this stuff. And poor guy.
Dude, fucked up. He died with his eyes open.
Yeah.
I suppose somehow in movies that's supposed to be like extra fucked up when they die
Right.
with their eyes open.
Yeah, Tammy A. One syringe full of air wouldn't do it. I don't know. I've always called BS on it when I see it in movies. Like, yeah, you just, put some air in someone at the hospital, they just die like that. I don't know why.
No, she's right. It takes 3, I found.
Okay. That's
You mean you
usually-
read?
Wait.
You
Sorry,
read.
wait.
You read somewhere that.
I mean, I heard on the internet.
Yeah. Ever since
The
I was a little
interweb.
kid, I've always been like, that's a thing with me. If you get to know me more, I always just kind of like, whenever I hear like what I call fake science. I remember I lived next to these little girls. When I was a little kid, they lived next door to my grandparents' Mexican restaurant. And there's a thing in Mexican culture, and my wife's family did it too. But even as a 6-year-old, I knew it was bullshit and wasn't true. There's a Mexican wives' tale to have thick, luxurious hair. You shave your daughter's head when they're like 3-4 years old, because when you shave hair, it grows back thicker. And I remember learning when I was like 5 or 6, my older cousin, the one who faked being blind, him telling me your hair is not alive. When it comes out of your body, that's why you cut it. You don't feel anything. It's not living tissue. So I remember even as a 6-year-old hearing, if you shave your head, how does your body know how long your hair is? It doesn't know. Once the hair comes out, it's not sending a nerve signal back. So even then I knew that it was bullshit to shave your head. So whenever I hear stuff like injecting the air or shaving your head or all those other wives' tales, I've always been a skeptic. You know, I'm like,
actually, your body feels the trauma from your hair being cut, and so it knows, and it like makes your hair back thicker.
Well, I hear indigenous people, which I am part, they would feel it even more. You know, because there's generational trauma.
Oh yeah. It builds. It builds.
Dude, let me say. This shit right here, though, this is the crazy shit about it, right? We had a thing. There's all these different things that are 80s tropes, 80s, 90s tropes. And it's always become an action movie trope where the place you are the least safe, apparently, is the hospital. Right. Like, in all of these movies, it's like, oh shit, he's in the hospital.
Dude.
So you see, like, you know.
In Blade?
Yeah, It was in the hospital. Dude, if you ever see
one of these movies.
If you see big scary guys carrying flowers in a box or balloons,
a nurse quietly going down a hall,
dude, get the fuck out of there, because it's about to erupt in gunfire for sure. Yep. Yeah, you would think hospitals, you got doctors, nurses, police are usually there, and for some reason, so if you ever need to kill anybody, hypothetically, take them to a hospital.
Yeah, it's the action movie. Yeah.
According to these movies, it's easy. Also, one of the things of bullshit I thought was, or it was as a kid and later knew or learned as an adult, is the whole what was that, Last Boy Scout, where he shoves the guy's nose bone up into his brain.
Yes,
right.
He does that to like 2 or 3 people in the movie. That's his move.
Right.
You know, shove their nose bone up in their brain. Turns out, ain't no nose bone.
Yeah, I remember explaining to an adult that you can't cram someone's nose into their brain. That's not how that works.
You don't have a nose bone that's shaped like a dagger. It has like a knife point. And
right.
No, you're right. That's actually why I had the cartilage replaced with a dagger-like piece of metal in the hopes that one day.
That's how you want to go?
Blast that shit up into your cranium.
My dreams are really odd, a lot of people say. You know, like, like...
I would say vivid. I don't want to be judgmental.
Some people want to see Paris. You know, in my case...
Well, my nose bone driven up into my brain. Tomato, right?
Here's a cross section of the human skull, and here's why that whole nose is going to go into it. It's all connected. If you smash someone's nose so hard it's in their brain, you just smash their skull. That's all you did. There's no bone there that's gonna destroy their brain.
There's a sharp bone that's in the nose, and if you hit it the right place,
right,
it will go up in your brain and kill you. And then
again, hashtag not all bone noses. You know, I've got
it couldn't go. You couldn't go up because that's just gonna do. That would just like get the front of your face. There's no brain like under your skin. Like it's kind of back a little bit, so you'd have to like smash this way and not up if you wanted to get to their brain. But
yeah, if you're going to hit hard enough to smash to their brain, you could hit any part of their head. It wouldn't matter. You just busting their head anyway.
If you got a palm strike like that, you got to fucking hit him anywhere.
Yeah. You know who could do that was Pokey. Pokey, he was a horse, so he would kick. And damn.
Kicked his nose bone.
Well, there were a lot of things I used to believe were not possible until I think I saw Michael Venom Page's flying knee and what it did to the skull.
Yeah, that's all bad.
That thing, I remember seeing that X-ray and going, did the doctor feel like he was working on Humpty Dumpty? Like when that X-ray came back, was he like, what the hell am I going to do with this?
All fucked up.
No. Dude,
actually, kind of to bring it down a little bit, I have a friend whose grandpa was kicked by a horse and killed.
No.
It was in traffic. Somebody's horse trailer had jackknifed or something, and the horse was out, and it was in the intersection, and it was running around and shit, walking around all scared. So he went up to it to try to, get it and bring it back and calm it down, and it just turned around and fucking boom, kicked him right in his head, killed him.
Jeez, yeah. I mean,
I was like, shit, because you've seen like the zebras and shit kicking lions and like crushing their jaws and shit. Like, dude, horse kick and a zebra's smaller than a fucking horse.
I saw a zebra kick a lion's nose into his brain.
Kicked his nose bone into his lion brain.
It's shaped just like a nose. It's a big triangle that's underneath your entire nose.
Well, yeah, it's
like
just your nose is double. You got a nose going out and a nose going in.
Right. A lot of people
and for no evolutionary reason, the top of it is a sword.
It is. But you have to
sword.
You have to hit it right at the right spot. And if you don't say when you do it, it's not going to work.
Right. I've never ridden a horse. Have you guys ridden horses?
I have. I remember riding a horse as a kid. I was so fucking scared. I grew up like in the country. We had 10 acres. The road I lived on had a 7-acre minimum. So everybody had a spread.
Dang.
And our neighbors across the way, the Sanchez's, whose mom, Mrs. Sanchez, would send me home with a homemade tortilla with beans and cheese in it. The cotija cheese. I'm walking like quarter mile, but she's like feeding me like I'm going to walk through the snow barefoot up to my knees. Here, mijo. So that was delicious. But they had a little black horse, and we were on one road. And then when you turn on our road, he says, when you turn on our road, he's going to take off running. And I was like, no, his horse ain't that damn smart. Dude, as soon as his hooves hit our street, shoo, that horse. I remember hearing his hooves on the pavement. It was blacktop. Going up. I mean, fast. I'm holding on. If I fall, I'm going to die. This horse is flying. I got speed tears coming out of my eyes. I mean, we're going fast. And so I'm like, whoa there, whoa. All this shit I hear in these cowboy movies, nothing. This horse is flying. And it flies up their hill, and it's flying down their driveway. And I don't know how this thing's going to stop. It's just running until it comes to an immovable object, a tree, a hillside. And so I go running, and his mom luckily heard us screaming. And so she's outside on the porch. And she goes, pull back on the reins. And as soon as I pull back on the reins, the horse goes and stops. I was like, what the fuck was this advice half a mile ago when I thought I was going to die?
How old were you?
I was like 9 years old.
Jeez.
Oh my God, dude.
I got on a horse when I was 7. And
that's like putting you on a Harley, though. Sorry, go ahead. What the hell, man?
No helmet.
No, you're right.
Go ahead,
you put a 9-year-old on there and you don't even tell them. I got on a horse when I was 7. It threw me off. But I can't ride horses now because I'm like 285 pounds.
You got to get a Clydesdale, man.
I've gone like camping and all that. Like, the limit's 250. I'm not going to get on some poor horse's back.
Get a Clydesdale. Tell me you want them Budweiser horses.
One of the
I'll
experiences.
just keep losing weight. I'm down 20 something since August.
So. I got an experience for you, though I wouldn't advise it because it's equally terrifying. So we were in India, and we were out at this place called this fort called Agra Fort, famous fort on the side of a mountain, and you take elephant rides up the fort, like cliff, stone pathway, giant elephant. And what they have is they have this little rickety metal rectangle that's on the back of the elephant, and then they've got sort of like a carpety tarp over the back. So I get on this elephant with this tiny, thin metal rail on the side. I feel pretty confident. The elephant goes to walk, and my freaking seat disappears a bit, and I realized I was sitting on the damn thing's shoulder blade. And like when it moved, like a lot of seat disappeared. And you just go, these things... Like, when you see circus videos of, they're typically Indian elephants going haywire, no chance. Get the hell out of there. Like, they're fast, and they are enormous, man. Holy shit.
And when I got on the horse, there were no adults. It was just, I met the kids. The kids who own the horse were down there with the horse. And I was like, I want to get on it. So I'm like, all right, cool. But when he hits our street. So, yeah, there were no adults involved until I got to the end. So.
Damn. Yeah, this is like a four-wheeler story,
kids,
man. This is some
kids out in the country, man. I was like, dude, if I let go, I would have died. The ground was passing so fast. I don't know how fast that damn horse was going, but it was real fast. So, yeah, good time.
I will ride a horse one day. I'll get there.
You will, man. You'll be of horse weight someday.
That's right. So he chases Gina Gershon down the stairs at the hospital. She's trying to get away from the shootout with the nurse. Hello, nurse. And he's not going to arrest her. There's a whole. They do a fake out here. You think he's going to take her in. But no. He shoots the lock off the door and lets her run off. The underground parking lot. She escapes.
Guys, I don't know if we have any gun enthusiasts in here, but if you're in a hallway in a confined space like that, and you shoot a fucking hand cannon, number one, he's not just going to say, go, get out of here. It's going to be like,
Right.
huh? What your hearing is done. That shit, you probably blow out your fucking eardrums. But he's like, Gina Gershon, you look so hot. Get out of here. Cut Arnold. You can't call her by her real name, but she's so pretty. Look at her.
Gina, look at her mouth.
Gina, if only you were a frumpy Mexican housekeeper. So he shoots the lock off the door and says, "Go, get out of here, girl." He's got a heart. He's got a communist heart beating underneath that Gumby suit. So he lets her go.
Oh, back to the sniveling Malcolm X, you know. Yeah. They really do have him dressed like Malcolm X here with those glasses.
He looks like fucking Malcolm X. Why would they do that?
I don't know.
Get him, sir. He wasn't back in time, Lieutenant Chief. Get him.
Sir, he had 2 donuts, and you said everyone had to have one before.
Yeah, he took a second donut.
Oh, you fucker.
Can we get a vote?
Don't forget to do the pop quiz, sir.
Oh, God. There will be homework.
Quisling, you a fucking rat.
So all the shit goes sideways at the hospital. The Russian guy that was going to maybe speak, he gets killed by the nurse.
He's done.
And you got to think about how hardcore the Russians are. The nurse that killed him, the dude in the dress who killed him with the air injection, that was his own buddy from Russia. They're all part of Victor's gang.
Dude,
so
he
to
put
shut
the word
up
out.
His own gang member, he kills his own buddy.
They figured he talked, so you got to go.
Yep.
And don't forget, Arnold Schwarzenegger is not supposed to be investigating this crime. So you would think that if you shot a dude 4 times at a hospital, we might pull you aside and see about getting you back to Russia. Nope, it was within his 24 hours, so he's free to do whatever he wants.
Right. So the chief takes the hand cannon away, which is sad because this thing's a beauty. And but they're gonna go and figure it out. These 2 are gonna do it off the books. You know that.
That's
and
right. Here we go.
Great action movie trope as always.
It's always off the books.
This is basically the give me your badge, give me your gun. You're on suspension, Donegan.
Yep.
Without pay. Captain, that's bullshit. I got the mayor breathing down my neck. I'm not going to bat for you anymore. I got to start looking out for myself.
Right.
24 hours.
Right. And then one of you said it earlier. He's going to be at home pouring Pepto-Bismol in a blender with pizza.
Yeah, dude. That's the opening scene. He's got to get that begins his character arc. He's got to get his shit together.
Yeah, these guys' lives are always in shambles, like the ex-wife calling about the alimony or some shit. Or
when are you going to pay me alimony?
Right. And next time you pick up Billy, don't bring your bitch with you. You know?
Let me guess. You're going to tell him you're not coming to pick him up. You always pick the job first.
Right. Oh.
Yeah,
I love
poor
this
guy.
stuff. I don't know why, but I just love it so much.
It's so good.
I do. Because it's comfortable. Right. We know what to expect. That's why. We know it. We love it. It's like a warm blanket. Love it. So this is classic raining scene. And he's looking out, blah, blah, blah. I like my gun better, and all that shit when he gives him the 44.
In Chicago, it's a great locale because they have the elevated trains. I think New York has them. I've never been to New York City. So you get these areas under the elevated train that just lend themselves to like crime or whatever. So shadows, it's covered, and it's so the city itself is moody. So we go back to the Notel Motel.
And the red, Russian red. A lot of red in it. That's back to the hourly motel that he's laying his head down at night.
It's really sad if you go to the by the minute hotel. That's for dudes with low self-esteem,
Hurry up.
Right. Yeah, people going to the minute motel and asking for half rate.
Yeah. You guys got any 30-second rooms? This is not.
You got any 25 seconds?
This is not going to take long. Poor guy. That's too bad. And Gina Gershon, yes, give me Gina Gershon behind a rainy piece of glass.
Right.
I'll take that. Thank you very much.
She will be missed.
Right. Oh,
poor thing.
Right. So then, what are we looking? What are they looking up in the office? I don't remember. They're getting some more info on Victor, but I don't remember it at all. Victor and the goons, they head to the Notel.
Is that where he's looking up the key number?
Right.
Yep.
See, now this is where 303 comes back, kids.
Right.
Remember in the beginning, he sees that Victor is in room 303. So he's in there. Victor's there with the clean heads to come take out Captain Danko. And he sees that they're in 303, but he tells them room 302. So they will go and almost like it's almost like an honorable kind of last battle. He doesn't want them there to take out Arnold. He wants to do it himself. Yeah. He wants to face his
because of his brother, right? I mean, there's Arnold's brother.
He wants to face his arch nemesis on his own. So he sends them on a wild goose chase to go shoot somebody, and he's about to go take out Arnold. But before they go into the hotel, they're looking through the window with binoculars, and he sees Arnold put that locker key up in a light fixture so nobody can find it. And then this scene right here, this is the clean heads are coming in. They bust into a room that they think Arnold's in, and Arnold is in the next room in 303 getting ready. And that's where we get the Arnold Schwarzenegger in a tight white t-shirt scene. And I was like, damn, dude, his arms were huge. I was like, holy shit. So, they of course they have to show the gratuitous the Arnold body scenes, and then I need a couple more scenes where you're showing my chest and my arm in there.
All right.
So of course, because this is at the height, this is 87. You can't tell Arnold shit. He's smoking cigars everywhere. Probably has his own director's chair next to the director. So if Arnold wants extra shots of his body, that's what he's going to get. And so, he hears the shit going on.
Ladies were also celebrating their straightness during this time. Let's also make that clear.
Yep.
Ladies were celebrating what they wanted from men during this time. We want guys to be fucking shredded. We want guys to look good, and we want men who look like men. Because we just come out of the 70s, man. And the 70s was just a hellscape of feminized men, wearing jeans that look good on a lady. Like, that was it.
Shit.
Floppy hair, all that shit. And we get to this, and you've got these sharp haircuts. You've got these guys who are like worked out as hell, man. It's like the mullet is as far as we went in that direction. But everybody was shredded. See, and women, some for the ladies, some for the guys, man.
Yeah, they wanted that schmut novel cover. Him shirt ripped, chest, pecs. He's, vanquishing his enemies with his right hand and, gripping his woman with her exposed bosom and, some wind in her hair.
A little something left, for the straights. A little something for the straights.
The ones that keep our population up. So this had it all, and of course he hears the gunshots, the gunfire. Never saw him get a holster, by the way. I don't know where he's tucking that thing, but
and the one thing about that gun, Jim Belushi gave him that 44.
He did.
His other gun was confiscated.
Yeah, and this is a bigger round. Really, it might not look as imposing as that Desert Eagle, but a 44, that's a bigger round. So he handed him that big American firepower. And he's about to put it to use on these fucking clean heads next door who happen to be shooting a guy, John, who's just visiting a prostitute.
That guy, a guy in the room that the villain here sends the clean heads to the wrong room so he can have Arnold himself.
Because he wants to get that key, too.
There's a hooker and a John. And I actually felt bad for the John. He's out here, maybe cheating on his wife, doing stuff he's not.
We don't know.
And he gets killed doing it. So not only is he going to get exposed and found out and his name is humiliated, he's dead too.
Dude.
Like, what a way to go. Jeez.
Because they bust in and the hooker's in there and they go, where is he? He goes, he's in there. Because he's thinking, that action movie coincidence. You're busting into a room where there happens to be a guy in a bathroom and where is he? Oh, he's in there. So they think, this, he must be in there. Got him a little hooker or whatever. And they just start blasting right through the door. Boom, 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 boom. Shoot the shit out of this dude. And then he falls out naked, all shot up. And then one of the clean heads is like, it's not him. Dude, he got
that was brutal as shit, dude, because someone sat that actor down and he's like going, all right, naked? Who else is going to be naked in this movie? Any other guys going to be naked? Well, here's the thing, man. Arnold Schwarzenegger's going to be naked in a scene before you. You mean you're going to show, you're going to show my body in the same movie?
After...
Anybody else in this? Well, we got this guy, Sven Ole Thorsen. I don't know if you know him. Son of a bitch! I'm firing my agent.
But here's how we'll even things out for you, buds. You don't feel too bad. They look the way they look, but we're gonna have them naked in the snow.
Yeah, that's
right. You know what I mean?
Deal?
That'll even it out.
No, you promise?
I'm just telling you, man. Even in the Sahara, though, they've got problems.
So you promised to have him naked in the snow? I promise. Okay.
We promise you, big boy.
We promise.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, they shot his ass up. And
Mm-hmm.
so now they're pissed. They're like, Victor set us up. So now they're pissed at Victor and they're going to go get his ass too. But then they forgot that Arnold's in the building. And so they're getting a little bit of a shootout. And Victor finds the key. He breaks the light fixture, finds the key. So now he has access to his money. And, there's 2 pistols there.
I like that he's racking 2 slides. That's
and he's
dude.
Like his voice is like he's a real like gravelly like super villain. Like a real perfect voice, perfect for this. He has the perfect bad guy face. And Arnold's hitting the deck because they're shooting through his door too. And that girl kept screaming. I can't wait to tell somebody, hey, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, she was annoying. She was asking all these questions. She was terrified, but then she was calm and like chatty, and it's just like, I hope Victor shoots.
She was. I wanted the director to have somebody shoot her, but she was very Ray Don Chong from Commando. Like you're in the midst.
The chemistry between the 2 of them. What was the worst in Commando? They had no chemistry.
It was disgusting. But she's that chatty in the middle of a firefight character. Like, oh my gosh, get down, my poodle. Did I turn the oven off? Like just this stupid shit in the middle of the most violent firefight in the world. She's just screaming and then she's like,
it's the ancestor to the Marvel Cinematic Universe gag a minute script writing they do.
Speaking of, is it Marvel or DC? I don't know, and I don't care. I saw that movie, and the only reason I saw it because it was free. I saw the movie Black Adam with The Rock.
Yeah.
Why?
Because it was free.
You still paid too much. You paid with your time.
Yeah.
It was everything you think it is.
Jericho, don't you know the first one is always free? That's how they get you. They get you on the comeback.
It was chock full of people quipping and the oppressors and the oppressed people, and it was like this racially ambiguous group. Are they Asian? Are they Arab? They're not white. It was just, and the bad guy, of course, was a white guy, a colonizer. Man, it just they jammed more woke shit and just shoved it all in there. It was horrible.
One of my favorite things to do is to go to the movies, and I love to go by myself. I like an empty movie theater, the last show on a Tuesday night. Nobody's there. It's just how I like to go to the movies. And I haven't been to the movies in ages. And I got on Fandango app on my phone. I just want to show you.
Oh, Fandango.
And I was like, what's a movie that's out? Like 2 nights ago, I was like, I'll go to a movie. It's between Christmas and New Year's. I'm not working too much. Let's go with the wokeness of every single movie here. There's I Want to Dance with Somebody, the Whitney Houston story. I'm sure her being black in that, they make it someone woke or whatever. I love Whitney Houston, but I'm sure it's probably a bit woke and white people are the devil. You got Avatar. Well, that's going to be anti-colonial, anti-Western.
Yep.
You got Puss in Boots. Those Shrek movies, they're always too trashy for children. You got Black Panther, enough said. You've got Babylon, just celebrating sex and drugs and the excess of Hollywood. You've got Megan, a satanic doll or something that kills people. You've got a movie called Women Talking.
No, that sounds like a nightmare.
Right. You got a movie called Violent Night, so you're just subverting Santa Claus, making it ugly and trashy.
Although, dude, I got to tell you something, man. I saw Violent Night. It's fascinating. Dude.
I did. I saw it too. Okay. I watched it with my wife.
Okay.
It's very family. It's very family oriented, and it was surprising.
We'll let that one go then. You got Strange World, Disney's wokest movie ever, and you've got, spoiler alert, looks like a gay romance. So that's like 8 movies that are out right now. Literally, I guess not Silent Night. Literally 7 out of 8 just woke trash.
I saw Black Panther 2 to do a review on my channel. It's everything you think it is, and then some. It is, first of all, you should have killed the character off. After Chadwick Boseman died, you're either in that character or get a new guy to play him. Instead, they got a woman to play him. His sister took over. So now you have Black Panther, 5'5", 120 pounds. Right. It was fucking awful. And they couldn't have packed more SJW, white people are racist, Let's have a white character in there and all the black characters just talk shit to him. Like he himself enslaved their people and just traveled through the future. And this was the same white guy who
He's some Dutch man from 80.
Yeah, but let's treat him like he was the same exact person, not his relatives, him.
Right.
He did it. He enslaved our people. He somehow lived forever.
In 1463, and he came to 2022.
This is the guy. I mean, it was fucking awful.
I hated the first Black Panther movie. I loved Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther in Civil War. The relationship with his father with the brief moment you had between them being my favorite, and they fucked that in the movie. I was furious with what they did with that relationship. That was, to me, I couldn't get past it. Like, I couldn't get past it watching that movie. I was so psyched to see it. Took my son to the movie theater. My art mentor designed in the comics a lot of the stuff that was in that flick. Right. You know what I mean? So I was really proud to be there, and that really bothered me. But I'm going to tell you this. Chadwick Boseman was a great Black Panther, and I told you this. I was iffy on him because, when I first saw the photos of him, like I had, because Wesley Snipes, who's one of my heroes, was supposed to be, tried to get that movie off the ground, couldn't. That's why he did Blade. So I'd always pictured him in my head, but I will tell you, Chadwick Boseman crushed it in Civil War. And his death was absolutely tragic. But you got to understand, you've got, the actor who played Dumbledore died after the first two movies. You've got to honor the character and recast. I think they could have done so much, all it needed is in the front and in the end, for sure, for Chadwick Boseman. Put it all over the movie. Tons of respect to the guy. But you let his character... You not only did he die, you killed his character the same way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was so tragic,
dude. I didn't know that. That's
he died of an illness. It's
so depressing, like what they did, man. And hail Chadwick Boseman, man.
Their version of, like you said, put it all over the movie and all through the movie. Their version of that was crying about him through the whole movie.
Oh.
It wasn't honoring him. It wasn't showing his power. And how all the things he did and his fearlessness. No, it was everyone's fucking crying and crying. This movie was sponsored by Kleenex. Everybody was fucking crying. Oh, it was fucking horrible. And women were in charge. Men were dumb. They were foolish.
They started that in the first movie, though. That's the other thing that pissed me off.
This movie
started that shit in the first movie.
Soaked in estrogen. And then they have of course, the angry street smart black girl, but she's a ghetto genius, and if only she wasn't black, she'd get a chance. Awful.
The thing that got me about that is too, and just in general with movies, and like again, guys, you know us, we'll get to the finish of this movie in about 7 more hours, so I don't want you to worry. But the thing about
2-3 more days.
Yeah. Oh, you're muted. You're muted. Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes I tap that button on the front by accident.
But this is the thing. All of us, I am sure, at some point, and actually Elon Musk, because he's the most public genius you're going to see, have met a genius. Okay?
Elon Musk, by the way, African American.
Yes, of course.
Literally.
And you know what he said, though? I hate it. Did you guys see his tweet? People were like going, Elon Musk, you shouldn't be CEO. And he typed, diplomatic immunity. And I thought, what the?
Wait,
hey, man.
Hashtag Cougar Rant, what?
Hashtag too soon. But anyway, the thing about it is that if you've met a genius, I would like to think, and there are brilliant people from every possible background. However, brilliant people have they're not sarcastic, like the Tony Stark thing. It's like he's a genius, but he's a businessman. He's kind of this weird sort of thing. But if you were going to do that with a character, why do geniuses have to talk like snarky assholes? When if you meet geniuses, they do not care. They're living in a world. What was it Elon Musk said in that Rogan interview that I freaking loved? He goes, he was afraid. He was so smart that when he was 5 or 6, he realized he was smarter than everybody he was around. And he realized that he had to hide it because he was worried they would put him in a mental institution if they figured out how smart he was. That is what being that smart is like. and they have these characters, and they're just like, excuse me, like they're like the barista, man. Like they're like the snarky barista. They're not a genius. That's the thing that bothers me about the lazy ass writing, man.
Well, don't watch Black Panther 2 then, because you're gonna shit your pants.
Will not.
And that was free too. Somebody
Listen,
paid for
Jericho,
me to see that.
We both know he was gonna shit his pants anyway. So.
He's
I
like,
just
"What are
shit
you
my
talking
pants
about?"
now. What are you talking about? Ah! I don't know if you guys know, there's this pool I go to up in the Northeast, you know, where I hang out with my bear friends. Funny coincidence, and I just shit the pool. It's just. So anyway, back to Red Heat. A hell of a movie.
All right. So there.
That's like,
Shut up, woman.
A stuntman who looks nothing like Victor flies out the window.
Yeah, he
Oh my God.
does.
Guys, you remember that YouTube channel called Space Ice where the guy reviews Steven Seagal movies? The one I sent you, and they're like, all he does is mock him in like these 10-minute videos. There was a clip he had of some horrible Seagal movie from like 10 years ago where the bad guy's a black guy and he gets blown up by Steven Seagal with a DVD that blows up. Says he blows this guy up so hard he turns white, and he pauses it, and the stuntman is a white guy flying into the lake.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, you're telling me they couldn't find one black stuntman for this black villain? They
blew the race out.
Oh, God.
It was hilarious.
Maybe they couldn't find one person dumb enough to want to get exploded. I mean, seriously, come on, man. That job is
a DVD at a guy and blows him up, and the stuntman is white, and the actor that died is black in the movie.
There's a Seagal movie. One of his last major motion pictures, Glimmer Man, that he did with Keenan Ivory Wayans in '97.
Right.
And there's, spoiler alert, there's a scene at the end where he kills a guy and he kicks him out of a window. And the guy flies out the window and like lands on a wrought iron fence, but you can see it's made of rubber. The fence is going like this. It's like waving like a flag in the wind. And it was it was a final shot. Like, you guys couldn't get this right. It was so fucking corny, man.
I've got one better for you because it's so wrong. It is some amazing shit. Last of the Mohicans with Daniel Day-Lewis. The final scene. Dude, great movie. Jericho, have you seen it?
I remember. It's like 92.
Oh, guys, let me ruin it for you. All right? Let me ruin this for you. It's great. At the final scene, he's racing to try to save his brother, screaming in agony as he races. He says, Uncas! And the back of his fucking musket hits one of the rocks, and it just waves because it's fabric. And it's so obvious. It's like, this movie is so completely believable. And once you see that, you can't unsee it, man. It's fucking dreadful.
I remember that. That was one of those movies that was always movie posters and cardboard cutouts at the movie theater or the video store.
Running at you, hunched
Yeah,
over.
yeah, with the fucking like the what do you have, the
Tomahawk
and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, shout out to Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, 1993, CBS. What was her name? Jane Seymour.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was a baddie too. She was a baddie. But yeah, the same thing was that whole tomahawk slow motion run toward the.
That's right, man. You gotta do it.
Last of the Mohicans. Holy shit. Yeah, that is not. I think that guy, he's even clean shaven. Doesn't Victor have like a beard and shit?
That's why I brought up the black guy that turns white, because it's
That's not even the same. Wow. Oh, this
This
dude.
is hilarious to me, his reaction. He's yelling at the detectives, and this guy on the right with the red tie and the brown suit, he's in a million movies in the 80s.
He's in everything. He was in one of the worst movies my eyes have ever encountered. And I've seen a lot of movies. It's called No Holds Barred, starring Hulk Hogan, 1989. Holy shit. This guy plays the evil TV executive, and the company is like World TV or some shit, some corny generic fucking name. And this guy plays the CEO, who's just the stereotypical boardroom with the long table and you're fired, and tear down that rec center for a mall parking lot. Fucking bad guy from the 80s. And when I say Hulk Hogan, you think to yourself, great wrestler. What you don't think is great actor. And there's a good reason for that. Is because he's fucking horrible at it. He is the worst at most of the movie is and it is I mean, if we're gonna do Jingle all the way and Stone Cold, we have to do No Holds Barred. Same guy, Debo, Tiny Zeus Lister plays Zeus, the bad guy in this movie. It is top to bottom just a work of art and how fucking horrible it is. And Hulk Hogan and Vince McMahon locked themselves in a hotel room for 3 days and wrote it. So we'll leave that there.
Dude, I gotta share this real quick because it has nothing to do with what we're doing right now. You share this window real quick because
Hold
I'm
on.
gonna show you this.
Where?
This
I don't see it. Oh, here it is. Here it
okay.
is.
Yep.
What is this?
This is the 3 seconds from Last Mohicans. I need everybody to watch the rock
Let's see it.
that's in this corner, okay? As many times as it takes. We gotta
wobbling
make this
prop.
happen. So, right, here you go, guys. Here you go.
I didn't see it. Back it up. I missed it.
Move the rock was like,
Yeah,
Oh,
here you go. Watch the rock.
Gun. I thought you meant the gun was ready.
yeah,
You see
the
it?
rock is rubber.
It's a beautiful thing,
Holy
right?
shit,
It's
man.
right there, the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. One more. There it goes.
That shit's made
Tragedy.
out of rubber.
It's tragic, man.
Oh,
it's a tragedy.
shit.
There you go.
I found my Steven Seagal thing. I hope
No.
Okay.
No.
he's gonna throw a CD at a guy and kill him. And when they go to the stuntman is a white. This is a black guy.
He threw the CD so hard that it
Tell me if
changed
you
his
can hear the
ring.
sound, because sometimes when I open a second panel in Chrome when we're doing StreamYard, it won't play the sound. Let me try it.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Right through his stomach, or he fucking ate it. But either way, it's inside his body and explodes with so much force that he actually turns white.
No.
What the fuck?
And he's
Did you see that?
Oh my
It was
god.
That white guy right there, the character that was in the movie was a black guy.
What the fuck happened?
I'm still trying to figure out how that CD exploded.
I don't know.
Like, did he just throw it with that much force?
Yeah. It's
Like,
a
did he have
movie called-
explosives under his shirt or some shit?
The
Or he
CD
just-
itself could explode. They didn't explain it. Listen, Steven Seagal made 5 really good movies. That's all he had,
did.
in him, man.
That's all he
That's
had
what
in
he
his
got.
fucking tank, man. Because everything after that, everything after Under Siege,
Right. Yeah.
everything after that was dog shit.
No,
On
it's
Deadly Ground.
Above the Law, Hard to Kill, Out for Justice, Under Siege, and what's the other one? A Mark for Death. Those are the
Yeah.
great
Yes.
5 Seagal movies.
That's
I said
it.
them out. And that's it.
Everything after that, and I mean everything,
Right.
is dog shit.
Right.
On Deadly Ground, what was it? The other one. Then he went this whole environmental Indian fucking.
Oh, I have a nickname for him that my wife loves. I call him the Albuquerque Buddhist.
yeah, because he has the turquoise and silver
He's got the
shit,
turquoise and
Holy
big,
shit,
like
man.
Those triangle Native
those
American things.
bones.
But then he's wearing the Buddhist like bead bracelet.
Yeah, always rubbing him and shit, dude.
I don't
He
believe
made
in
so many
violence.
shitty movies
believe
after
in-
that.
I believe in pacifism instead of violence. Like he's saying that shit in the Glimmer Man, and then he's beating the
Yeah,
shit.
but he
out of
fucking
people.
takes a credit card with a razor blade in it and cuts this dude's throat.
Yeah, he's doing
What?
origami with people's fucking arms. You know what I mean? It's like I'm a pacifist. I'm like, dude, you just put that guy in a chokehold with his shattered
Dude
radius.
took
Oh
a
my-
credit card out that had a razor blade in it, flicks the razor blade out, and cuts this dude's throat. And the guys didn't even do anything. They just walked up to him and were like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" And he goes, "Oh, my friend's a country, but I'm a little more rock and roll." And he flicks the razor blade out and just slashes the dude's throat. And he's a cop.
I feel a review of the Glimmer Man coming on. I'm
Let's
just
go.
saying.
Let's go.
It's an exquisite.
That movie is so
movie.
fucking horrible, man.
And
And if you want to hear some corny, like the really corny comic relief, that's Keenan Ivory Wayans.
right.
Yes.
He goes to a bar. Hey, do you have a Black Russian? Or
Well, okay.
this Chinese lady's talking to him, and he goes, "Don't you know I'm black?" Like, it's all this shit about black people don't do this, and white people. Oh, it is.
For
Oh,
those
fuck.
of you too young to remember this, in the 90s, for some reason, they would put a black slapstick character in movies, and all of his jokes were basically, I'm black, I'm black, I'm black. Like, oh my God. And then I remember being at the movie with my brother. We're Mexican Arabs. We're not white people. And my brother turns to me, and it was a Will Smith thing. It was him and Tommy Lee Jones, the space.
Men in Black.
Men in Black.
Yeah,
Space Ghostbusters. But Will Smith tells some racial joke and the whole crowd laughs, but it's like white people. My brother turns to me and he's like, they're laughing for a different reason than we are. You know what I mean? It's a little bit of a minstrel show, to be honest.
Yeah.
It was a weird thing in the 90s. I didn't like it. I thought it was
very bad. Will Smith does the worst. The best example of this is also the worst in Wild Wild West.
Oh, yeah.
That looks like a piece of crap. Boy. I never saw it.
Oh, boy. It's really bad.
Can I get you, Mr. Schwarzenegger, to do the best line from this movie that Zale, a.k.a. Mac, brought up about Sub-Zero now just...
God. Who wrote that? Bring me the person who wrote that fucking line right now.
Cocaine wrote that line.
Fuck.
What does he say? He was a Sub-Zero. No, he's pure zero or what?
He used to be Sub-Zero. Now he's plain zero. Who wrote that? It's good. That's good.
Cocaine really did write that because I believe Running Man was written by the Cocaine King himself, Stephen King, right? It's one of his books, I believe.
Is it? So, damn, dude, that's a bad one.
Yeah.
Now he's just plain zero.
Oh.
Wow. Yeah, there are a lot of white lines on that script, man. Ooh. That's some shit right there.
A lot of mirrors, a lot of razor blades.
Dude.
But this guy, he was always the wet blanket.
Right.
You know, he was the you can't dance here, young people, or he was always that guy, always the bad corporate guy in movies. And he fucking nailed it.
He did. Right. Yeah, he did.
So anyway, the hotel manager has a weird reaction. There's a shootout. A couple people are dead upstairs, and he's like, who's going to pay for all this? What am I going to tell my boss? He's not like terrified and vomiting.
You know, well, this is like, a shitty motel in Chicago, so he's used to it. Come on, you run an hourly motel in 1987 in Chicago on the South Side. Yeah, this ain't your first shootout this week.
Yeah, his wife doesn't ask him if anything bad happened at work. She asks him what bad things happened at work.
Yeah, did anything good happen today?
She's like, how many people died at the hotel today?
I saw a prostitute giving birth in the dumpster when she was smoking crack. That's about it.
God.
It's a circle of life.
Not quite the holding the baby cub up, but
holding up a ham sandwich like the baby tiger or baby lion.
Oh my God.
Fuck.
The darkness.
Hold up a Jersey Mike's cold cut combo.
Hey, that's not a baby lady.
God.
It's my sandwich. Yeah, so this girl,
they interview the prostitute. Does she give him anything useful or no? I don't remember.
No, she just fucking traumatized.
Oh.
And but imagine what she's seen, a prostitute in Chicago in the 80s. Fuck. That girl's got some stories to tell.
Right.
And there's Malcolm X again with fucking waiting on your red.
You know what's interesting too? The character he's playing, although the character's a little less obnoxious, is that, well, I don't know if he's a bad character, but he's kind of the middle management guy in Van Damme's Time Cop. Do you remember him? Where he comes in and he goes, oh, you think that's funny? He's like, well, we just saw some gold show up that was from the Civil War that disappeared in 18-something-something. Do you remember that cat? He was like one of he was the time travel, like he wanted to set up the time travel agency they worked for, but he was the middle management guy who comes in, he was the pencil pusher. He's in a bad version of that in that movie, but that character is, in some shape, form, or fashion, you can tell where society is by how the middle management guy is portrayed. Right. That's basically it.
I couldn't fucking stand his character, which I guess they did a good job because you're not supposed to.
That's good acting that we can't stand him and it's not even real.
It's not even fucking real.
Right. So they got this mess on their hands now at the No-Tell Motel. This is So and then so Catherine Manzetti, I think that's her name. She's on the news for some reason, and it reminded me of Steven Seagal. I'm going to take you to the bank, Senator. the blood bank. When he's saying that, because Victor sees her on the news and then he shoots his television.
Yeah, like that's gonna send a message to her.
Almost like he's being watched by a movie audience. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, it's another character. This is the news in these movies is like the score of the movie. It's another character because the news gives you exposition. It lets you know, okay, what's going on. There was a gangland shooting and X amount of people got killed and we're looking for this woman. So it fills you in. It lets you know what's going on, what's the temperature of the police, who are they looking for, who are their suspects. And then Victor, again, with this little gun thing that shoots out of his sleeve.
Right. The pop-out gun.
Yeah, he threw a silencer on it. He didn't have a silencer on it in Russia, but I guess Chicago, So he puts a silencer on it, and he's pissed off. He shoots that damn TV. And remember the big booty TVs? Now they're like a fucking credit card, but there was a time, kids, where it took 2 people at least to carry a television.
Right. You remember just a big TV was like rare. Only like rich people had them and stuff.
Yeah.
And guys, I'm talking a TV over like 30 inches or 27 was huge.
Yeah.
Most people didn't have them.
Can't even imagine.
I remember one of my good friends growing up. His dad was a prison guard, so he made hella good money, and they got a big screen TV. And God, what was a big screen TV? Maybe 40, 50 inches, maybe 50 at the most. And it was like, fuck, we're inside of the movie. You know what I mean? And like, there's kids now with a 50-incher in their fucking bedroom. But not only was it the screen big, but the TV was big. There was like 9 feet of TV behind it that you couldn't even see. That thing was massive.
Right.
But a big screen TV was, you almost had.
It was like a sofa. It was like the size of a piece of
like a giant sofa.
And it was almost like your neighbors would be looking through your window like, ooh, they got a big screen. It was a big deal.
Oh my God.
Now, if you don't have at least 65 inches in your living room, people think you're fucking disgusting.
Right. My Uncle Dave was a lawyer since like 1981. Passed away 2008. Loved Uncle Dave. Great. Just a total character. Good dude. And he had a giant TV. And I remember like being a high schooler and I was going to bring my Super Nintendo over to the house because I wanted to play Street Fighter with characters who were like 2 feet tall. I thought it would be insane. And we played it on there and I was like, oh, it just feels the same. Because you just sit back. I thought it was going to be the craziest thing ever, and it wasn't.
Yeah, like you're going to be in the game. Like, oh,
but but he also had the satellite dish that was like 8 feet wide in the front yard. And the way satellite TV worked in the 80s and 90s, at least, there were different satellites that it would actually rotate and point at.
Yeah, it would move.
And this is like the East Coast feed, and this is Canadian TV, and this is over here. And it was like Galaxy 1, Galaxy 2. I remember him explaining it to me how it worked. And that way you get hundreds of channels. I remember someone saying they could watch David Letterman live even though they lived in LA. They didn't have to wait until it came on here.
You watch the East Coast or broadcast.
This is like, I remember it was 1992 because I was visiting Colorado for the summer, and the Summer Olympics with the Dream Team, Michael Jordan and all that. So I remember the year we're at Uncle Dave's house, and the way the galaxies work, the different satellites that it pointed at, whatever you were watching on Galaxy 1, say you're watching Disney Channel, you go to Galaxy 2 and you're on East Coast, now you're watching ESPN. When you go back to Galaxy 1, it's on the Disney Channel still where you left it, right? So we're trying to look for something to watch. Whole family sitting in the living room. Uncle Dave changes it from one satellite to the other.
No, Uncle Dave. No.
Uncle Dave.
Don't do
Uncle Dave.
No,
when he went to Galaxy 1 or 2 or whatever from the other one, it was on the Playboy channel.
It wasn't the Disney Channel, was
Uncle
it?
Dave just says nonchalant to the whole room. So, well, I don't know who did that. Then he just changed it. And in my head, being the little like improv smartass in I didn't say it, but I'm like, I know who did it.
I know who did it.
Yeah, I have a theory.
Hey,
I have a
Uncle
working
Dave was like,
theory.
"This is my house. You don't like my Playboy channel? Get out."
But to talk about the TV thing real quick too, because I think this is a big thing, is that we're showing you guys a lot of movies that are sort of recent classics, let's say, or more recent classics. These great action flicks. When you get to see them in the pristine, like you either see them in the movie theater, which you kind of, depending on what week you went to see it, would affect the print, depending on all that other stuff. Then you'd see it on VHS, which is, it's like watching it on a Game Boy, from the 90s or something. Yeah. You see it like this, and movies I've seen for the first time and seen on a modern television, that can do 4K, seeing something like Black Rain, seeing some of these early Seagal movies that were shot on film beautiful cinematography, man. That's what we hope you guys will get excited to go and do after we do these shows, is just revisit these movies, because you'll say to yourself, why am I worried about the idiotic entertainment that's happening right now? The world is my oyster, man. I've got all of the history of great movies. I need to start watching some good shit. And that's really what it's about, man.
And something we talked about, especially doing the movies like Alien and Thing, the practical effects versus CGI. That's one of the things that really made Black Adam suck. Everything was CGI.
Yeah.
The bad guy at the end was all CGI. It was like watching a fucking cartoon. Black Panther, everything is CGI. Nothing's going to be beautiful if everything is beautiful. So nothing's going to be cool if everything is like. Where's the talent in that?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and there's a design principle. Shanth, you know this very well as artists. We know this. There's no valley without a mountain. You know what I mean? Like they create each other. And when you have everything CGI, everything, the designs for the Transformers in the modern Transformers movies are garbage. Yeah. It looks like a pile of moving silverware.
You can't even tell what it is. You can't tell the definition of it.
And one of the problems as an artist, I work for the giant corporations. One of the problems there is that in entertainment, the management is not the talent. The management is failed, unskilled talent. That's a mean thing to say, but it's the truth. And it would be like a pro football team having a head coach who never played football. They don't know what they're talking about. So when you work for these giant companies, there were some good editors at DC. Mark Chiarello, fucking legend, one of the greatest editors ever. But he was an artist for years beforehand. And it used to be that way, like in comics. But when I see stuff like what you're talking about with the over detailing and all the stuff, when you add too much detail everywhere and you break the big shapes, it just becomes wallpaper. You just can't tell what anything is. And there's just stuff flying everywhere. And you have this middle management in Hollywood that are not artists. They don't have an artistic eye. And they just, can you zazzle it up a bit? Can you add some more sizzle and flair? And just like, what in the shit are you talking about? Like,
it looks like
I'll just push the movie button in Photoshop. I'll just push the movie button.
It reminds me of, I don't know if you guys had this in your high school, but it reminds me of the salads that people would get in high school from the cafeteria. Fucking ranch dressing and ham and cheese and cottage cheese and fucking olives. It wasn't a salad anymore. Like
it was the salad bar.
It was an accident.
It was too much. You couldn't distinguish the flavors. There's too much shit. And like that's a perfect example with the Transformers movie. And I'm coming from the 80s watching the cartoon.
Right.
So this is what's in my mind. Optimus Prime, those flat, there weren't like all this detail, and like you could tell what his face was.
Right.
You can't even distinguish anything from their face. It was more simple. But you get to the movie, I was like, what the fuck is that's not a damn Transformer. And you didn't even give me the sound. You didn't give me that fucking Transformers sound, and you call this a Transformers? Man, fuck all that.
Dude, I will tell you this, man. I used to say when I was critiquing, students' artwork, one of the things I would say is, I was like, this painting looks like a salad shooter had dysentery. Oh. Like, that was the best way to just, like, when that stuff, it's every freaking color. Yeah, dude, we had, back when teachers were teachers, back when professors were actually professors, I had a professor who would walk up to a classmate of mine and goes, the thing about it is you've been bringing your homework in weekly, and he goes, and I mean that in both senses of the word weekly. Brilliant, man. That's the shit we need, man. That's the shit we need.
Damn. He was like, let me lift you up a little bit because you think I'm telling you've been consistent, but then
it was rough.
Both meanings of the word. Oh.
Yeah, it's some brutal shit.
I think bad design it's just an epidemic. It's around the world. I love design. There's a designer. His last name is Draplin. Oh my God, his book Draplin Design. It's so good. He's a great follow on I think Instagram. I love old hotel signs. I love old classic menus. I love graphic design. My actual degree from the University of Northern Colorado is visual arts with an emphasis in graphic design. I'm a very good designer and I love good design. And I hate those Transformers. I didn't go see the movie literally because of the design of the Transformers. Yeah. You know what I mean? I didn't go see that first one. This almost got me there. That almost got me into the theater.
They knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
They knew what they were doing.
I think
I don't know. We need to get back to the movie, but I just think Michael Bay.
Jericho's all flustered now.
Michael Bay, he fucked those movies up.
Yeah,
It
she
was too
almost
much.
got me there, but no, I couldn't deal with the silverware Transformers.
If you show me slow motion running with debris being blasted at them one more fucking time.
Ugh.
What about a lens flare? Get JJ in here.
It's gonna be cool this time.
Fucking hell.
Just horrible. But let's go to something that wasn't horrible.
Anyway, she's on TV. They're looking for her. He shoots the TV. And there's been about 3 key plot things in this movie that happen off screen. I'm not mad at it, but it's a little weird choice because she shows up DED dead. Oh, you see the strangulation marks on her neck. I didn't notice that because the shot is so quick.
Again, dead with her eyes open. She's making it creepier. I guess she died by surprise or something.
Would it kill you when she's in the body bag to shut her eyes, though? I'm just throwing that out there, guys.
Yes.
I mean, there are rules.
Dude, shut that shit. And pull that sheet down a little bit. But anyway.
Well, actually, then they give you the overhead shot through that mostly transparent bag so you can see mostly her naked. And I said to my wife, when they showed her there, I go, guess we're not going to see her naked? And I looked at my wife, I go, give him a second.
Hold on, the scene's not over.
Give the fellas a second. This is the 80s. Let's get this done.
Which they did in Glimmerman.
Yep.
There's a scene where there's a girl's dead, and for some reason the examiner, the coroner, has her fucking sheets pulled down under her tits. So her titties
what the hell was that?
That guy needs to be investigated by the city. What the hell, dude?
Dude, why you got her titties out?
+5 for 2. Thank you very much, friend. How late am I to the show? Hope you had a good Christmas. You are 3 hours and 16 minutes late.
But you're here now.
You know?
You're here on time for us.
You're here now.
Yeah. Yeah, we're still in the opening credits. Don't worry.
we haven't even got to Chicago yet. We're still in Russia.
Yeah, we're at the intermission.
All right, so she got, which was weird because it happened off camera. So
she's gone.
I wonder if there's a deleted scene for it or something like that. And then, so Belushi and Schwarzenegger, they head to a guy that's his Belushi's sister's ex-husband.
Yeah, which they mentioned earlier.
Right, and he's like a locksmith guy or something like that. Something with keys and locks and all that. They're going to try and find out where this locker is because although Victor stole the key from the lamp in the no-tell motel, Arnold wrote down the number.
I wrote down the number. G1.
Another great actor, by the way.
Yeah, that guy. Another AA. He's like, I think this guy only works in Chicago movies.
Yes.
Hey, that guy down there with the bar there.
We're gonna go watch the Bears and get a hot dog.
The Bears. We're gonna go watch the Bears down at the bar.
Everything I've eaten in the last week remains in this stash.
That's why I grow it so I can keep it there.
Mike Ditka for president.
That's right.
Mike Ditka. And this dude, he played Plumber, who had some kind of episode, some kind of sleeping fit in a Martin episode, first season, 1992.
Oh wow! I think he was in a Seinfeld too. I don't know if that's right, but I think when I saw his face, I thought that. I don't know.
Yeah, that guy there.
Oh. I saw it, by the way. Again, not by the way. This is totally again out of the way, but I saw a Sleepy Hollow adaptation starring Jeff Goldblum as Ichabod Crane with Mike Ditka as Brom Van Brunt.
What the
guy?
fuck?
And I was like, that's Ditka, you know. And you got Ichabod Crane's like, you know
what?
But it's
yes. No,
I'll tell you what's wrong with that. A headless horseman.
Wait a minute. Who the fuck got Jeff Goldblum? And this is this an old one?
This is old one, 1980, man.
Oh
1980.
My god! How the fuck did that happen?
I don't know. Something went wrong in the Matrix.
Wow. Ooh, jeez. That's a strange pair there.
That is.
This guy mixing up the Cubs.
Stop Cubs. Yeah, if I'm not rooting for the Cubs, I'm rooting for the Bears.
A dueling.
Bears.
The Bears.
Break it up, you two. Break it up.
Isn't a Cub a bear?
That's right.
Cub just a baby
That's
bear.
right.
Over there with the guy there.
Anyway, Arnold looks through one of his library of books on the shelf. This is a little contrived. He finds a book about the manufacture of that key.
While they're arguing. They're arguing.
Book, there is reference saying where that specific key's locker can be located on Earth.
Yes.
And it just so happens to be there.
Thank God.
Be there in the city of Chicago.
It'd be right
next
there.
to where the Cubs, right next to Wrigley Field.
No, it's not over there. It's right there by the Bears. But while Arnold, again, showing these foolish Americans arguing, missing the big picture, and not getting the work done, they're going back and forth about his sister or some bullshit. And Arnold's like, the book there, our key when they force it in there. Like he's looking on that shit, figuring it out. Basically, like the key goes here when they're done arguing.
The key is here. We got to go there.
Yeah, no, we're here, and the key's over there.
Just to break this down, though, imagine he speaks pretty good English, right?
Yeah.
Even though he's from another country. I want you to try to imagine, if you have any experience trying to read Russian, going into a Russian pile of books, going through the information, and locating something in Russian.
Yeah. I got it.
In English.
Right here, I got it.
And they're very, very, very technical books that even a native speaker would be a little confused reading. Like,
that's exactly right.
These are tech manuals. These are fucking manuals.
Dewey Decimal System.
How would Arnold say the Dewey Decimal System?
Dewey Decimal System, and we use it over here, not there.
Dewey would be a great name for his partner. Dewey.
Dewey, I'm here. Kill me, Dewey. Come on, Dewey. Do it. Do it, Dewey. That's too many dudes there.
Oh, fucking hell.
Hey, Dewey. Do it.
Oh, my God. That's it. Fucking hell. I need an ejection seat put in this room. Just punch out, man. Ah!
Dewey, do it. If you're not Dewey, then don't do it.
Anyway,
if you are Dewey, then do it.
That was it. I died.
Somehow
that's it, and I'm done.
This fucking Russian reads the English technical manual and finds out that the locker he's looking for is at the bus terminal.
It's right here.
Gosh, there it is.
So they head on down to the bus terminal.
Specific manual.
Yeah, and guess who's there? Victor got his suitcase full of cash.
Damn.
And he's gonna do his deal with
No. So one of the clean heads.
Oh.
He gets the key somehow, and he goes to the locker and gets the money. And I think Victor gave him the key or something. Yeah, Victor gives him the key, and I guess he was supposed to meet him or something there or some shit. But the clean head guy is in the bathroom looking at the money, about to steal it. He's steal some of Victor's money. Yeah. And Victor comes in the bathroom. And he's like, what are you doing in here in bedroom with my money? And the guy's like, oh shit, man, I was just. And then he fucking little wrist gun out of the sleeve again, shoots him 3-4 times, and he falls, goes backwards into the stall, and dies on the can, Elvis style. And then when he falls down dead, you see a bundle of money fall out of his hand, like he was taking the money and was gonna fucking steal some of it. And Victor, he wasn't having that shit. So Victor
nobody got shot once, by the way, in this flick. Like,
no, man.
Freaking
I gotta empty this fucking thing. If I start shooting, I gotta empty it. I finish what I start. It's a message for the kids.
Everybody watching, make sure you check the links in the description. You subscribe to Jericho's channel, subscribe to Sean, check out Sean's comic, check out mine, Nosfero by Sean, Truth, Justice, American Way, and of course, Jericho does his show 6 days a week. He's a machine.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You killed us today, man.
Hit the like and share this out. And everyone, even if you're already subbed, make sure you're still subbed. YouTube's algorithm unsubs people during live stream. Just a few of you.
They do.
Make sure you're subbed. So,
Amen.
This guy gets got. He was trying to steal the money, and that little wrist gun that Victor had, he pops it out and blasts him a couple times.
Yeah, and with a silencer. Don't forget, it's silenced or suppressed.
Right.
And they're gonna get him a bus. Get on the bus. Get the fuck out of here.
The goods for Victor were in the bus. Whatever the goods are, I don't know if they were. It was more.
Yeah, we still don't know. I haven't seen any goods like the damn briefcase in Pulp Fiction. What the fuck's in there?
Glowing light.
But
I had to explain your silencer thing. I was explaining your silencer thing to my wife today. I go, it's a suppressor, and they don't. Jericho's explained to all of us it doesn't sound like that, and she goes, so does it bother you guys when it's in movies? It's like, hell no. When we make our movie, we're using that effing sound, man. Don't get confused. We love the craft of this shit.
I think the suppressor more for the muzzle flash, not the sound, right? It barely deadens the sound.
But it does have an effect on the sound because it takes it. When I went to the Navy SEAL Museum in November. We shot some M4s with suppressors on them, and of course, it completely gets rid of the muzzle flash, but it quiets the sound to almost like a clapping sound. Like if you took two pieces of wood and knocked them together like that clapping sound. Yeah, it almost like a popping sound.
I thought you meant like booty cheek clapping, not like hand.
No,
like
pieces of wood, not ass cheeks. It does not sound.
Do you
like...
mind if I imagine that it's the booty cheek clapping? Or
sure,
is that
man.
gonna, like,
yeah,
because in my head, like now I'm picturing.
That's all you. No, they're not twerking.
Like,
I'm seeing seals clapping. Is anybody else seeing seals clapping? Sorry,
no. Or. But no, it makes like a popping sound, almost like a cap gun. It does quiet it.
Yeah,
really. Oh,
yeah, man.
All right,
that's great. Because I had to look it up, man. after you gave us our thing, I'm like
gun ass clapping.
I try.
Yep.
Jeez. I try never to think about this when I watch movies, but like the amount of shooting that goes on, like you said, in hallways and all that, how they're freaking.
They would be deaf,
blown out.
They would be deaf.
My favorite place to go shooting is an outdoor range in Las Vegas. It's my favorite place to go. And when I take off my ears there, it freaking hurts if I actually take them off to like or whatever. And you're outdoors, and it's still just insane how loud
as fuck. So you tell me you're in a hallway and an echoey hallway in a hospital stairwell. Yeah, your eardrums are finished. Someone's having blood coming out of their ears after that shit. And that big ass 357, 22. That thing's like, oh boom. Nah, man, they'd be like fucking.
One thing that's really neat about shooting in Vegas is, the laws are different. So you'll be at the range shooting your Glock or your pistol, whatever, and you'll just hear do, 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 and you'll look down range and someone's got something heavy duty. It's insane.
Yeah, I've seen some wild shit at the outdoor ranges, man, especially out of state. I went to a range in Vegas.
Right.
That shit was an awakening, man. It was really nice. I went to a range here in California, and I hear this boom, and I could feel the wind from the muzzle flash, from the concussion, and I was about two lanes down from. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I look, and this dude had a Desert Eagle, like a Desert Eagle 50.
Damn.
And each round was like almost $2 a round, but it was the fucking boom. It was the biggest gun I ever seen in my life, man. Handgun, it was huge.
I remember my buddy, my best friend. We've been friends since we were 9. His bachelor party, like 8-9 years ago, we went to Vegas. Him and me and like 7 other dudes. And he got the Dirty Harry when we went to the range. Like you could pick different guns, pay different stuff. But he got that one. And he's not a big dude. He's like 5'3" or 5'4". And that thing looked like, I don't know, it looked like a toaster with a grip on it. It was so big and
fucking massive, man.
Yeah, it was awesome. But totally insane. But anyway,
shoot that fucking thing indoors, it's over.
Oh my God. At that range, the first time I ever went shooting, I took my wife and kids there. I shot a SAW 249.
Ooh,
my kids shot 22 rifles and a pistol. My wife shot an AK-47, and one of the pieces of brass when she shot flew off, landed in my safety goggles, was like burning the side of my head.
Dude. No.
It was so hot. It was sizzling.
Somebody cooking steaks in here?
Right.
No, that's your face. It's a very real issue on the range. You will get some hot brass. When I was at the front sight shooting school last year, I got hot brass. It went down my shirt and then in the crack of my ass.
So,
how
you doing?
Having a loaded gun in your hand and trying to get a piece of hot brass out of your ass.
Don't do it, Jerko.
That was fun.
Stay calm.
I did. I handled it well. I didn't turn around like, hey, somebody help me.
A bee flies into your helmet when you're riding a motorcycle on the highway, that kind of thing.
What do you do, man? What do you do?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've always thought, and I'm not giving any driving advice, YouTube. I'm just saying for myself personally, if I'm driving down the road and there's some squirrel or something, I'm sorry, I'm not swerving. You swerve, you could.
That squirrel is.
You could crash into someone's yard, hit another car. I'm just running the poor thing over. Sorry, man.
Yeah, it's over. It's a dumb squirrel.
That isn't driving advice. Don't hold me.
Well, I mean the same thing. If I'm in my car, I tell the squirrel I'm driving. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, and I like wrestle the beer out of its hand, and I'm like, you had too much. Not driving advice, YouTube. Not driving advice.
I don't care how many nuts you got in your cheeks. I'm driving.
Dude, am I the only one? I was driving somewhere in my 1979 Toyota Corona. They don't even make those things. and a giant moth, disgusting creature, flew in the car. I'm flying, down the highway or whatever, and goes in my shirt.
Yeah.
And I can feel it all flapping and crawling. And I just lighten up going, hold on. Because I know if I freak out, you're going to crash. And I just end up pulling over and like ripping my shirt off. It was this big white, horrible thing. Oh, God.
Am I the only one?
Bugs know that they are ugly and everybody hates them. I hope they know that.
They come to my house, you're dead. You're fucking dead. But when people do shit on the road that makes me mad, am I the only one who wants to drive by their car and throw a grenade in their backseat and just watch them feel around for it? Oh, that makes me so
Save it
angry.
for the script, Jericho. Save it for the script. We are going to write a Mad Libs insane script one day.
Dude,
we'll do
let's
it.
do
Indiegogo if you want to know what's in it. Like, we're not going to tell you what's in it because it's probably
you know what's in it?
garbage.
Everything you want. That's what's
everything
in it.
you want.
Everything
right.
you want. Good boy. So, Victor.
Victor, he's got his stuff, whatever it is, in the box.
I'm going to kill you, Danko. So they finally meet up. They finally square off at the bus station.
And Belushi's got him dead to rights.
Yeah.
Yep.
Got him. 357. It's over. But not quite.
But then Arnold points at Belushi's like, no, he's mine. I want to take him. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah,
so then
me
Victor
neither.
makes a break for it and gets in the bus.
Especially, I thought, because I've seen it in movies before. Like, what movie was that? I think it was Bad Boys, where Martin is getting in his way and Will Smith points the gun. He's, I'll fucking shoot you too. He's like, hey, man, I'm out of here. You're on your own. So then he tells him later, you weren't going to shoot me, were you? And he goes, yeah, I was. So basically the same thing here. I guess this is probably where they got it from because it came out way before. But he tells him, hey, earlier, when you had your gun point, you weren't going to shoot me, were you? He's like, I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I don't know. Like he basically tells him, I don't know, maybe. And it was weird because that provides an escape for Victor.
Yep.
They're at odds with each other. He takes off, hijacks a bus, a big ass Greyhound bus, and the chase is on. Very Beverly Hills Cop opening scene.
Yes.
Right.
Very much so. And
nothing tops, man, I tell you what, we could talk about Beverly Hills Cop for 5 days. We probably will. But nothing beats that opening sequence. Like, I could go down every bit, the Michael Tandino hit and their relationship. That movie is perfect. It's a perfect
The Michael
film.
Tandino hit was brutal, man.
Brutalest hit I've ever seen.
Carried out by another 80s character actor.
Who went on to even bigger things, because these guys have skills. The one thing you're never surprised with, you're actually shocked when you have to say whatever happened to this actor, because you could pull these guys out of retirement or pull them out of, more or less, out of the limelight like they did with Carl Weathers on The Mandalorian, and they've still got star power. They still have it. And he is in Breaking Bad, and then he's in Better Call Saul. Like, they did a prequel, like, this guy, you want to see him in things. And he was the, right-hand man in Beverly Hills Cop, and he's still throwing down, man.
Man,
outstanding.
That dude was cool, man. He grabbed Homeboy by the head, pulled his head up, and fucking boom.
Brutal.
Like, oh, shit.
Brutal.
Oh, it was. But yeah, Victor takes a bus. No, go ahead, man. Sorry.
Oh, so yeah, I was going to say just what you were saying. Victor's commandeered the bus. Arnold jumps in front of a bus with a different driver, and the guy doesn't run him over. And he steals the bus. Belushi jumps in. They're hot on his trail.
He throws the guy out of the bus. How about, I'm a police officer. I need your vehicle. I need your bus now. Why you grab the dude and throw him out of the fucking bus? Then Belushi, another classic 80s movie, action movie trope. They're chasing. There's a lot of running in these movies. Riggs, you got him running after everything. Belushi, a few times in this movie, is running after shit. So Arnold is so, look at his face. He's so dead set. He's so Terminator on catching Victor that he takes off without Belushi. Belushi runs and let me in and opens the door and gets on the bus with him and fucking, still continuing the, I must get Victor, he's my sole purpose. I must get him, take him back to Russia. What are you, nuts? Like, he's just fucking smashing through Chicago, hitting shit he doesn't need to hit. And one thing I was wondering about, of course, the hitting all the parking meters, running them down one by one.
Just smash. It's like Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, why are you
just
doing this?
smashing
Why
cars.
can't you keep this fucking bus on the street? Sidewalk, parked cars, all fucked up. And
he couldn't go under 55 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I think it's a different guy.
Yeah, or the baby oil bomb would go off.
If you go under 55, there'll be baby oil everywhere.
Right.
So there's one scene where he runs over a statue, and it looks like an old statue. Like, how'd you guys do that? Like, were they gonna tear this down anyway? Yeah, were they gonna tear the statue down anyway, and you just happened to make it a movie, so they let you destroy it? Because it was a practical effect. There wasn't no CGI. He fucking runs through this statue that looks like a landmark. So that was weird. And then the next one, he drives through a fucking building with all this glass. Bruh, why can't you keep this fucking bus on the street? But he's just, you know, again, there could be people in there. This is the evening, a major city. There's people in there. Not fuck it, Victor. Right. And he just fucking threw everything.
Well, it's either the baby oil bomb or the bouillabaisse bomb.
Either way, there's a bomb in there.
Oh, shit.
And then they have a weird thing where the two buses are going to face off.
It's that Eastern European masculinity. To the death. We have to, we can't shoot each other. We got to run each other over. We just got to fucking go at it until one of us is dead.
Right.
So one thing I'm glad they didn't do the engine revving, and then they'll go to his bus. It was just his face, Arnold's face.
Now that is the last thing that the Latina maid saw right before Maria came home. Right before Maria Shriver came home, that's what she saw.
Oh man!
He's like, "Go, get out of here!
Come on, Maria's going to be back in 20 minutes.
Come on, hurry, make me!"
He shouted to little Arnold, "Get out of there!"
Yeah.
Skynet,
hurry! I've got Skynet everywhere.
That's why.
Oh, none the miser.
Wait,
Exterminator.
Wait,
it's
it all
everywhere.
It all makes sense. The reason he had an affair with the maid is so that she would clean up everything afterwards. That's why.
Oh, it's the beautiful part about doing it with your housekeeper. When you finish, you just lay there.
Oh my god.
Clean it.
Lord.
All of it, clean it. And make sure you get everywhere. I want you to lay me on my back and raise my legs up like a baby. And you change my diaper. When I say it's everywhere, I mean it's everywhere.
She's got the talcum powder out. Just
come on.
God.
Clean my hiney. Get in there. All the way in there. Clean it.
Victor's bus gets hit by a freaking train.
Dude,
that looks like
everyone crashes. They're all bloody. They're all beat to shit.
You got to go back. That looks like one of those models.
Yes.
And maybe it was. It didn't look like it in the movie, but that screenshot that looks like a model. But in the movie, it looked real.
Yeah. So the HD really shows you some things that were not, prevalent.
Yeah.
And the next scene, they're what are you crazy? You almost killed us and all this shit. And look at the gash on Arnold Schwarzenegger's forehead. I know he's a badass, but that's like almost brains hanging out. He would have blood.
Dude.
You know how many blood vessels in your face? He would have blood streaming down, soaking his shirt. But I guess the blood was too scared to come out.
Right.
So,
and there's when they go into a face-off, I don't think I have enough photos of it. But there's all this smoke and fog and maybe smoke from a fire bus, and it's just billowing. And Arnold's cutting through it. First, he's like a tiny, faint silhouette, and it gets darker, and then he comes out. And they do it about twice, and it's just kind of amazing. It really, really looks badass.
Yeah, and this. What's another one? Fucking 48 Hours. This right here.
Right.
This scene right here. The bad guy. In the final scene is in a club, and there's all this smoke from the smoke machine. And the guy basically sits up out of the smoke and then fucking, gets killed. One of those shoot him once and then he pops back up kind of things. But in this one, he has his gun pointed. Arnold has his gun pointed, and then they just start letting off shots at each other. And, of course, Arnold's the main character, so he doesn't get hit. And he fucking shoots the shit out of old Victor.
Right.
And I thought it was going to be like one of the Action Jackson ones where, him and Victor and what's his name?
Craig T. Nelson.
Delaplane, Peter Delaplane.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like that where, they're both boom, boom, boom. And she goes, "Are you okay?" He says, "I don't know. I've been shot." I thought Arnold was going to have like one of those superficial through and through,
Right.
Kind of shots. But then he didn't get shot at all. He just fucked Victor up.
All right. Real quick, for 20, thank you, Ruma Faye, very generous. You all are making me laugh like Shant, and she thinks she might die. She's not going to die. You're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Arnold, you can't die. I need you in my live tomorrow. You can't die.
Yeah, you got to be there.
Right.
But you can't die today. Sorry.
Another one. Oh, Double Brewski, always here. Ain't got time to bleed.
Ain't got time to bleed. Ain't got time to bleed. Stuff will make a man out of you.
Right.
Yeah, I risk my life to be here with these two gentlemen here laughing.
This is life
to the point, like I can feel my aorta just flexing, like a little unhealthy.
It's a little anticlimactic, their battle. They shoot at each other. He seems to miss Arnold a bunch. Arnold just pastes him and ends his sorry life. And it's just kind of over there. I thought they were going to have it out, like you said, like Delaplane and all that. But they don't.
Like there would have been a fight or something, but no, it was just they came out of the wreckage, drew down on each other, and then bang, 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 and Victor's fucked.
Right.
And that's it.
Right. And he's getting on a plane, heading back to Moscow. And that's going to be they talk it out a little. This guy's beat this shit too. Jeez.
Yeah, he got fucked up.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
But yeah, they kind of bury the hatchet. It turns out you're kind of cool. Yeah, you're cool too. And yeah, maybe if I come to Russia, I get some of those Russian chicks. I get some vodka, corny shit like that.
Right.
And then it's over. Like it ends pretty abruptly.
Trade watches.
Yeah, he goes, "I want to give you something here to watch." They do that. They take off a necklace or something at the end.
Yeah.
So he gives him his watch, and he goes, and Belushi takes like, "Wow, man, that's cool. He's over here. I'll give you my watch. It's $1,000, some shit watch." And he looks at the one Arnold gave him, and it turns out to be some cheap, like fucking Timex. And he's like, "Oh, I got fucked." But too late. It was a sentimental moment.
Yeah.
Arnold, it was the gift. It wasn't the cost. He was like, I wanted to give you something to remind you of me because, like, I don't think you'd, I don't want you to forget me. How could he forget him? Are you going to forget your weekend?
Tank came over from Moscow and hung out with me. I think it was a T-34. Yeah, it was a T-34 that came over here and hung out with me.
Is that the guy from Germany?
Yeah, no, I think he was the butt naked guy in the snow, right?
I don't. Yeah. No, I don't remember.
I don't recall.
I thought there was a guy that was.
Yeah, I asked him to get the car door, and he pulled it off the car.
Yeah, that guy. Weird. Oh, car door guy. Yeah, I remember him. Hand cannon guy. Yeah. I do remember that. So yeah, I don't think he's gonna forget.
You like crash in a bus with someone, you're not gonna forget them.
Kind of. What do they call it? Etched into your memory.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not gonna forget our fucking.
There's about 300 things in this movie that you'd never forget if they happen to you with another person. I'm pretty sure.
Definitely.
Plus 5 for 5. Thank you for Ninja 3, a movie from 1984. Had a guy get rained on in bullets and he still wouldn't die. Oh, dude, you make me want to watch that so bad. I've never seen it.
I know it's gonna happen.
Dude.
I've seen. I think it's American Ninja. Is that the one with Dudikoff?
Yeah, Michael Dudikoff. We got to do an 80s ninja span too, because you got
there's those great ones with like Sho Kosugi, right?
Kosugi, yeah, and Revenge of the Ninja, something else ninja.
Van Damme's first, or second movie, Black Eagle, starring Sho Kosugi, and then Van Damme's the bad guy.
Yeah,
that is a piece of crap. That might be worth watching.
It was something with like a plane. Sho Kosugi was looking for a down plane or something.
Yeah.
I remember that when I was a kid.
Before the Russians can get their missile system.
Yeah,
so
Revenge of the
island
Ninja.
Of Malta or something.
What was
the worst model boat that gets blown up. You could tell this thing is not a real 200-foot long boat. You could tell this is like a 2-foot long wooden boat that they blow up. It is such a bad special effect.
You could see the You could see the stunt guy's hand like in frame pushing the boat across the water.
Dude, let me say though, was there anything cooler? Like you want to talk about characters that have not gotten their due in terms of when they try to adapt things to movies. First of all, there was nothing cooler, and yes, indeed, by the way, rest in peace, Benny Dobbins, man. That's well done, man. And I will say this is that is the two characters that everybody I know freaking loved when I was a kid, which was Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow from G.I. Joe.
Right.
And I will tell you that Storm Shadow was far and away, he was no peg warmer when it came to the toy section, man. People freaking loved Storm Shadow, and I was obsessed with freaking Snake Eyes and Timber, man. The ninja was the thing.
I never got a Snake Eyes figure growing up because they never had them at the mall. I didn't know this till I was an adult, but I guess I got a job at Toys R Us when I was 18. Yeah. And what I realized is when I would open the box of Star Wars figures, there'd be like 2 Boba Fett's and then like 12 of the shitty guy nobody wants.
Yeah.
And they call it short packing. A lot of people probably already know this, but they make like the more popular characters rare. And I guess I realized the logic behind it is they're trying to convince Toys R Us to buy 50 boxes so they get a bunch of Boba Fett. You know what I mean? But I could never find Snake Eyes growing up. I never did. But I have the best kids. They always give me the best gifts. But I just reminded me, my son got me like 4 years ago. He got me a Snake Eyes and Timber off of eBay because I had mentioned to him once that that's all I wanted when I was like 8 or 9 years old.
Dude,
and I could never find
those
them.
are the best, man.
Yeah,
Snake Eyes, that was shit. But
they just re-released all those figures right now in this G.I. Joe classified thing, and for the first time, because I don't know if you guys know this, Hasbro's in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. It is right up the street from us, right? It's like 45 minutes away, Hasbro headquarters. So I've done some freelance stuff for them, concept art, that kind of thing. And I had a buddy who worked there long term as a as a freelancer. He worked there for corporate for a while, then as freelancer and a consultant. And he, for the longest time, and this blew my mind, he goes, we can never figure out how to do G.I. Joe. Why? Because, guns. And I was like going, well, you got to do it with guns. Like that's the answer right there. Like make it what it is. And so now all the new G.I. Joe classified stuff, they're doing all of this really cool, accurate stuff with weapons for it. And they're flying off the shelves, man, because that is what the brand is.
Wait a minute.
You know what I mean?
Are you telling me that people that are interested in Army heroes want them to have guns?
Are you telling me you made a
some
time machine out of a DeLorean? Sorry, go ahead.
We try not to tell lies here, Sean. Don't lie.
Yeah. No, it's a weird thing, but it's like look, we all lost a friend in the '80s to throwing stars before they were banned. Okay, I'm not saying they didn't have a point, man.
That's how my cousin Tony went.
That's exactly. It was like at least 4 out of 5 boys.
It wasn't the star that killed him. The star pushed his nose bone into his brain.
Up into his brain.
Yeah,
Classic.
exactly.
Classic death.
All of us have a sharpened, pointed bone.
All American males have that sharpened nose bone. I remember going to the flea market. The flea market is where you would get the ninja weapons and shit, the size and the stars and shit was at the flea market, man. Yeah, that was the shit.
We also have some pawn shops. Go with my grandpa to deliver tortillas, and there was this pawn shop in Cheyenne, Wyoming. They had ninja stars. They had like size, like Raphael.
Brass knuckle paperweights.
Yep.
Yeah. They had all that stuff. Yeah.
That's the shit, dude. But something I will take umbrage with. Somebody in there said to do Ninja 3 Domination. We'll do it, but that movie is a piece of shit.
But that's why
my favorite ninja movie is The Hunted, man, with John Lone and Christopher Lambert. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie, but it's like it was a small like flick. It wasn't a big flick, and it's about this samurai descendant. So it takes place in modern times for the time it was made. Who has got this blood rivalry with this ninja clan, and so there's this one clue that gets out. Someone has seen the face of this person they're not supposed to have seen, and so he goes to meet the guy, protect him, and it's got a fight with a team of ninjas against this one samurai-trained swordsman on a high-speed train. And it is the shit, man. This train is just flying, and it's brutal. Such a great flick, man.
I think maybe we should maybe pick a few movies where we do the original and then the remake.
No.
Yeah.
Like something that came to mind was Man on Fire with Scott Glenn,
Mm-hmm.
and then the remake with Denzel.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good thing that we can do. Just
you have me a Denzel, man.
Putting it out there.
No, we got to do at some point. We got to do a Denzel marathon too. At least do a couple of flicks of his because Book of Eli is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Book of
Yeah,
Eli.
Man on Fire is one of mine too. Yeah, with
and then
Gary Oldman. Yeah.
Yes,
Right. And
yeah,
those,
it's got Gary Oldman in it.
Those new Equalizers with Denzel are hot,
Equalizer
man.
was
Those
great
are
too. I was going to
good.
mention that.
Good.
Oh yeah, those are good too. I like the first one better than the second one, but yeah.
Yeah, the first one's classic.
Oh,
good.
Yeah.
Speaking of ninjas and all that, God, it just captures your imagination. The concept of a ninja warrior.
It does.
And when you're a kid, I'll admit, kind of believing in maybe there were like ninja powers, like you could push
How would
someone.
you know if there were?
You know, I'm like 6th grade. My friends telling me, yeah, they're teaching us to do like an energy push at my taekwondo, and I know better than to believe it, but I'm like trying so hard to believe it. I know it's not true, but I'm like, I want to believe. I sent you guys a few of these in our private messages where we do on Instagram. But I want to share with the guys. This Instagram account is one of the greatest accounts I've ever seen. It's called Mick Dojo Life. And he just has compilations of people who seriously think they have like chi power. Where they don't even have to attack someone. They just like turn their head and it knocks people down.
And they go flying off.
These are grown men participating in this. Look at this. Oh my gosh.
Get the fuck out of here.
I love
that is glorious. That's the martial art I know.
I love this.
That's more my speed. I like that.
Yeah,
yeah.
Real slow.
Watch this. Watch. We'll just take them out. When I do this, oh my god! And there's all these guys. They're sitting rapt attention.
Yeah, like who's paying for these seminars?
Yeah. This is all real. This is all totally real.
Who's paying for these fucking seminars, man?
All right, let's see it. Come on, attack him. Oh, this one's taking too long. Sorry, guys.
Attack.
Whoa! Oh,
is he gonna be okay?
Get up.
This is the karate version of those fucking evangelists on TV who like fucking touch somebody's head and they fucking like pass out and start shaking on the floor and shit.
Oh,
Look
dude,
at this guy. He's killing everyone.
Did you see the guy off the street goes into the boxing gym though? I like the real ones. Where the boxing coach he just had knee surgery, I think. So he's like, hobbling around and he's just beating the shit out of this guy. he's like going, look at me, man. He goes, I got a bad knee. And he's like, come on, let's work. No, get up. Come on. So he just pounded this dude.
Dude, imagine if his knee wasn't hurt.
Oh no, don't go into a boxing gym.
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
He thought he
wow.
was tree trunk.
Dude, his head came off.
Oh my
his head came off. Holy
I will
shit.
tell you, you cannot withstand a tree trunk. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, that ain't. Don't
Look
do
at this
that.
guy.
In case you're out with your umbrella.
This is the forbidden umbrella technique.
Wait, what do you call it? What are those fucking
I think that's the Kama Sutra, dude.
what do they call it? Those things, those umbrellas,
Parasol?
Parasol.
You see that? Did you see what this guy just did? Nothing. And he killed the other
Nothing.
guy.
Mary Poppins Kundo.
What? Ew, why'd you fucking why'd you
okay, that's
again a deleted scene from Dirty Dancing, actually.
Yeah, more Kama Sutra. Let's see what else we got.
This shit, I find this endlessly fascinating. These are grown men that really believe in this. And okay, if you're a martial artist, you're an athlete of some sort, you're disciplined. Why the fuck do you have a pot belly if you're so damn disciplined?
Dude, no, man. I am telling you, we have got the makings of an excellent Instagram. We just need to get together and come up with some fake martial arts shit where you walk up to someone, design our own gis, like some crazy symbol on it. I like come at you with a pinky, touch your chin and your head explodes. I mean, come on. Let's get some CGI in this, man.
There's something about being a middle school age boy and believing in the dim mouth.
God, that's beautiful.
The death
touch.
You want to believe,
If
my
you take that from kids, you are evil. I mean that sincerely.
Yeah.
Like, if when you hear
I don't have it.
Like teenage kids talking about, there was this guy and he ate a firecracker and his butt exploded, and you're like, no, excuse me, son. Let me just excuse me. Let me break this down for you. First of all, the firecracker would likely be put out. Like, put that person down.
Right.
Just Put them down. They're ruining life.
Right. Oh, my buddy, he came over today. My best friend, he came over. We had lunch, did some fun stuff. And his daughter, she's only 6, but she's doing MMA, and she's pretty good at jiu-jitsu now.
Nice.
And in her first tournament that she did like 6 months ago or a year ago, she hasn't been doing it too long. He told her to tell the coach this. He told her to tell him, "I'm ready for the kumite." And she told him that right before the start, and the coach like laughed so hard he loved it. And
this is to the death,
Teaching
right?
Denmark.
Right. Right. But you're so right, Sean. You gotta let kids have the fun of imagination, and you get to an age 10, 11, 12, you start to realize, oh, this stuff isn't true. But it was so fun to believe it when you were little, you know. So
life will eventually piss on their campfire. So let them have it.
And this is the greatest thing about it, right? Because that's what people don't understand. We go a silent, like this is the thing people don't understand, that is, you being young is, again, to paraphrase what Frank Lloyd Wright said, being young isn't something you can control. You're going to get older. But youth is absolutely something, that youthful joy and enthusiasm. Right. So when I'm talking to my wife and I go, I know silencers don't make that sound, but I've also watched Death Duel of the Mantis, and I'm pretty sure no punch or hit makes that sound.
No.
And I still love it, and I want it in movies. I want it in video games. And these people do not understand how there's a difference between bringing fact to a story in a way that enhances it, and then bringing basically an accountant, a accuracy accountant to the story in a way that sucks the life out of it. Because you can't do the broad stuff. Like, yes, guess what? You can't jump a bus over a gap in the highway and have it keep going like nothing happened to it. Like, we know this. It's not, the General Lee, they went through a lot of those, in case anybody was wondering.
Like a Norman Rockwell painting, you exaggerate reality to make it real. If he painted it photorealistic, photo, like one for one, it would be boring and stiff. Yeah. But the fact that it's realistic and then cartoony, it makes it more, like that saying, more human than human. It makes it more than real, which brings it back to being real. So when you jump a bus over the ravine and it lands, that's just getting across the point of action, adventure, and excitement and bravery for the heroes. We're not really thinking the bus can do that. We're just enjoying the fun. And that's we'll put a coda on this here, I guess. The end of the year for Double Impact 2022. It's been amazing. So much fun. Sean, thank you for starting this. Thank you for just approaching me, dude. And then Jericho, I was so like, you can ask Sean, when you told me, like, when I told you what this show was, you're like, dude, I gotta be on that. To myself, I said, Jericho, he's got like 300,000 subs. I got like 8,000 or whatever. Like, what's he want to be on my channel for? Thank you for like asking to be here. Like, that honors me, dude. I think that's awesome. So, and it's been so much fun. And I think we're just getting started. We're not going to run out of these movies. There's thousands of these movies. We just keep rolling on this stuff and just having fun with people every Wednesday night. So, I think it's been amazing, and we're just getting started. And I learn a lot about life and you guys and the chat and everything, and it's really rewarding to analyze these things. I really love doing this.
Yeah, this is great, man. I look forward to this every week. I appreciate you guys having something that I wanted to be a part of. This is in my wheelhouse, man. Movies, all the movies I've seen, and all this useless information I have about them in my mind. This is a place to get them out. So I love it, man. This is great. The best is yet to come.
Absolutely. We had a final poll of the year. The best Arnold Vember review was T2, and then Predator. So that was the rankings there.
Yeah, those are fun.
Yeah,
and also great movies.
Absolutely. Yep. Where do we go from here, guys? Where are we going to start next year? I mean, we've talked about Chuck Norris, and we've talked about more Van Damme, Stallone. We all want to do Stallone.
Definitely.
We'll figure it out. We don't have to figure it out right now, but I wonder where we're going.
I say my vote's for Stallone. Got to get Bruce Willis in there.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Last Man Standing.
Hell yeah.
Fifth Element. Plenty of them. He's one of those guys that has a million fucking movies. So yeah, man, we got some heat coming, man. Some heat.
Right. We'll figure it out. Hold on, there's more super chat, so I need to go check that out, but I'm having trouble popping the chat out on YouTube. Hold on. Damn it. This web page is fucked up. Hold on. I'm going to have to open Safari because Chrome is messing with me. Give me a second.
Hail, Shipbird Militia. Hail, hail to my brothers. And
Yeah.
hail to the chat, man.
SKM for 999 super sticker. I'm going to find your super sticker, but I have to open Safari because Chrome is fighting with me. So give me a second here, buddy.
Fucking Chrome.
Let's go find it. Yeah, when I open the second window in Chrome, it won't. Something was wrong with the size of everything. It was all misshapen for some stupid reason. Okay, internet problems. Everyone loves that. Let's see. Come on, boy. Load it.
First world problems. Love them.
Right.
Oh, love
aren't
them.
we the luckiest?
Yeah, I mean, it's like not like I'm walking around with a leg filled with flour.
Okay, I found
for your babushka.
Right.
Yeah.
Going to make muffins when we get home.
With leg. I make muffins with leg flour.
Right. Okay, it's another dancing little doggy. Thank you, SK.
There you go.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right, guys, make sure you hit the like. Make sure you're still subbed. Even if you think you're subbed, please just double check that real quick.
Yep.
Okay, there's links in the description. Shanth has this criminally underfunded, fully painted comic, pulp adventure. Conan the Barbarian meets Lovecraft meets I don't know what. It's just gorgeous. Nosfero, you'll love it. Vampires, monsters, beautiful babes. I've got Truth, Justice,
boobs.
Yeah, I've got a love
My
letter to
attention.
classic. But guys, imagine this: pre-woke Marvel and DC comics. That's the book I've gotten there, and of course, Jericho's got there's a link to Jericho's channel. So check all those things out. Make sure you're still subbed. Anything else you guys need to, or want to, or have to say?
I mean, let's keep it going.
All right,
this shit going.
All right. Maybe
Amen.
Stallone. Maybe that book of Eli. We need to get that one. Well, something next week.
Yeah.
Wednesday, January 2nd or 3rd. I don't know what day it is next Wednesday. 7 p.m. We will see you guys here. All right.
Yep.
And thank you. Talk to you later.
Take care.
Peace.